that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. You can feel it.
Get the phone out the bed, start to move your balls. Wake up a word in Solomon Jones. Word. You better wake up now.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Wake Up with Word. So, Kawesa, I'm hoping you didn't do what I did yesterday and waste your time around 4:30 turning on the TV to watch these dudes.
I might have wasted a little bit of my time. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they are, man, oh man. So did you get to the second half?
I did. It got better.
Yeah,
once they pulled wins out.
I know. That's awful. I hate to have to say that, but it's true, though. And, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, what happened to my team from 3 years ago? They couldn't have fallen this far this fast. Like, what happened? That's what I'm trying to – maybe you know, Kawesa, because I don't.
I don't know. Part of me thinks that maybe Wentz got a little scared or something. He don't want to get hurt. I don't know, but it's just – it's not the same team. It isn't. I'm trying to be hopeful, but it was rough yesterday. Really rough.
Yeah, it was rough. It was absolutely bad. So we're going to see what happened, but I got to tell the truth. The Eagles are awful, and I do mean completely terrible. Remember the defensive line was supposed to be the strength of the team? Well, they're not. Darius Slay is not a guy who can cover top receivers, and Carson Wentz got outplayed by a rookie who came into the game in the second half and was able to complete passes to the same guys Wentz can't seem to find. So, again, I'm waiting for basketball season because I just can't take looking at my team this bad anymore. But, of course, in the scheme of things, that's the kind of heartbreak that goes away. The problems in Philadelphia's jails, well, they're a little more serious. A COVID-19 outbreak in Philly's jails has infected at least 150 people, causing the Department of Prisons to adopt a shelter-in-place measure and to cancel prisoner transports to court dates indefinitely. So let's pray for those in prison. Let's remember their humanity. Let's hope for their speedy recovery. And let's know that for at least some of our folks on lockdown, this COVID outbreak might be the thing that finally frees their minds. And once your mind is free, your body is sure to follow. We got a hot show for you today on Wake Up with Word. Lawyer and critical race theorist Dr. Tim Golden on how racism plays out not only in health outcomes, but in nearly every area of our lives. Dr. Naima Benson of Dedicated Senior Medical Centers on what seniors can do to protect themselves from COVID. Plus, Andre Segura of the Texas ACLU on the case of Crystal Mason, who was sentenced to 5 years for submitting a provisional ballot that was not counted in the November 2016 election. And as always, we've got you, our listeners, calling in at 215-634-8065. It's toll free, 1-866-361-0900. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, or you can hit me personally at Solomon Jones 1. Watch us on Facebook at onWURD. But first, it's the big three, the news stories you need to know to kick off your day right here on Wake Up with Word. Story number one, Rudy Giuliani, that's right, the personal attorney to President Donald Trump, has tested positive for COVID-19. And on Sunday, he was admitted to Georgetown University Hospital. Now, Giuliani's 76 years old, so there have been no additional details provided about his condition, but we do know he was around a whole lot of people with no mask on. Giuliani has repeatedly disregarded public health guidelines, appearing maskless in state capitals, hotel ballrooms, and at indoor news conferences in recent weeks. At many of the events, most of the other people in the indoor settings were also not wearing masks. This is a mess, but you know what? Let's just hope that none of the people he was around were black, because the bigger news for our community is this. Remember when the CDC said black Americans are dying at about 2 times the rate of their white counterparts from COVID-19? Well, that's not true. The truth is, black folks are dying at almost 3 times the rate of our white counterparts The change in the advisory came after Senator Elizabeth Warren requested that the agency adjust for age, which is a standard approach to measuring disease impact. The updated analysis also shows that American Indians and Alaska Natives had died at a rate 2.6 times that of white Americans, but the highest rate is among black folks. Warren says the new estimates are alarming and should serve as a wake-up call to the federal government to address the racial disparities and systemic racism that makes those numbers possible. It's going to be up to the incoming Biden administration to do something about it, to deal with the racially disproportionate way this pandemic is playing out across the country, and dealing with the racism that really is driving all of that. Kawesa, what do you think?
It's just like one blow after another, right, for us as a people. And that's why, we constantly are telling folks who are listening to us, make sure you're wearing your masks, make sure you're washing your hands, make sure that you are taking care of yourself and your families. Don't wait for this administration or another administration to give you that helping hand that you need to get through this. We have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And that's how I see it.
No, and you're absolutely right. And there's some things that we can do to take care of ourselves. Of course, we're going to talk with Dr. Naima Benson about it a little bit later on in the show. But, big news, man. Rudy Giuliani, the next person in Trump's orbit to get COVID-19. He is 76 years old, and so it's serious. He's hospitalized, and, we'll see. I don't wish ill on anybody, man, especially around this thing. But, you got to wear your mask, man. You watching them dropping like flies, all of them getting it. Wear your mask, man. Wash your hands. Keep your distance. Story number 2. Police shot and killed a 23-year-old man in Columbus, Ohio over the weekend, claiming they shot him after he drove by them in a car while waving a weapon. According to a report from the Columbus Dispatch, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office in Ohio said its SWAT team had been unsuccessfully searching for a fugitive on Friday when a young man, identified by his family online as Casey Goodson Jr., passed by them in a car while waving a handgun. At a press conference about the incident, U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Ohio, Peter Turbin, said the deceased was not the target of the search, but was confronted by a member of the SWAT task force who shot him after he did not follow a command to drop his weapon. So the family is saying something completely different. Point blank, they said they are lying. My brother literally walked across the yard, walked into the back fence to get to the side door, had his Subway and mask in one hand, keys in the other. Why did you kill a man walking into his own home? He just wanted to enjoy his Subway after leaving the dentist's office, she added. Police shot him in the back 3 times through the door, his mother said. It's a mess, man. So what are you saying? His keys was a weapon? A Subway sandwich was a weapon? Like, what are you saying? This is the kind of stuff, Kawesa, that we see over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that we see over and over again. And the thing that really, it bothers me is the fact that he's licensed to carry, right? Like, so even if he did have a gun, if he wasn't using it, he had every right to have that gun. Like, it reminds me of Philando Castile. Like, there's so many names that we can just start throwing out here when it comes to this. And you don't ever hear anything from the NRA, saying that this was, unjustified and all that kind of stuff. Like, we just continue to keep seeing our people get killed time and time again. And the only crime is the color of our skin. It's the only crime.
It's a deep thing. Blackness is not illegal. Hate to break it to you. But it brings me to story number 3. These last few weeks feel like a terrible reality show. From Donald Trump going to Georgia telling Republicans the elections are rigged, to everybody and their mama getting COVID, to the Eagles looking like a football team from a really bad high school, to neighbors holding vigils after a 14-year-old boy was shot. I'm tired of looking at this reality show. I'm looking for some joy. And a lot of other people are too. Maybe that's why this year Christmas in my house is going to be special. We already got the tree and decorated. We already put the lights in the windows. We already started shopping for gifts. We already decided to have joy. And after all I've been through this year, joy is what it's all about. I've survived a battle with COVID and come out the other side. I've survived watching Trump try to tear the country apart. I've survived watching my daughter graduate high school online. I've survived hearing my son telling me he just wants things back to normal. And knowing there's nothing I can do about any of that, the one thing I can control is how I respond. And I choose to respond with joy. We're going to decorate and celebrate. We're going to give each other gifts. We're going to fill our home with laughter. We're going to eat whatever we want. And when the holidays are over, whatever holidays you celebrate, just know that the fact that you survived all of this is the biggest gift of all. So move through it with purpose, move through it with strength, and most of all, move through it with joy. Because if there's anything we've learned from COVID, it's this: life is short, so we should squeeze out all the happiness we can bear. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. So I talked to my wife about the Eagles. She watched every once in a while, just a little bit. You know, she mainly like eat the snacks I make during the game. But she said we should have kept Nick Foles, Kwesi.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yep.
So now the question is it Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts? That's what I want to know. So if y'all are Eagles fans and y'all are watching, help me out with this, because I'm really, you know, I've been watching these cats since Roman Gabriel was getting sacked on every play. Like, you know, I've been an Eagles fan since I was a little kid. And so I want to know what you guys think. Should it be Carson Wentz or should it be Jalen Hurts? I want to know that. But I also want to know, are you gearing up for the holidays? Because one of the things that's happening is people are decorating early. People are doing what they have to do. People are really, you know, using the opportunity to decorate to make themselves feel better. Using the opportunity to celebrate, to feel like something is normal. Using the opportunity to engage in their holiday spirit, whatever holiday it is that they celebrate, in order to get through. So I want to know what you're doing, and you can give us a call. Let us know about that as well, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we are talking about on this morning show, 215-634-8065. So, Kwesi, have you thought about it? So you watched it yesterday. They still lost like 30-16 anyway. Young boy looked all right. What did you think? What do you think we should do going forward?
I think that, you know, we need to give Hurts a chance. I do. I think that it can't hurt. Not, no pun intended, but I'm saying, like, it can't hurt. Like, it really can't. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we're not doing well. So I would say give him a chance, you know, maybe have Wentz play half and Hurts play half or something. But it was just interesting to see. They were almost like a completely different team when Hurts got on the field. Like, it was like, oh, like, it was like, you know, brand new day type thing. And I was like, what? What? And so I think that we should give him a chance, see where it goes. Because, I mean, really, we have nothing to lose at this point. We're already losing. So.
Nothing. The team is horrible. So they're now, I think, what, 3-8-1 or something like that. Yeah. They are, I mean, y'all done won 3 games, man, the whole season almost over, and y'all won 3 games. Like, put the rookie in. But here's the thing: they had already paid Wentz, what, $128 million? He got a $128 million contract. That's good money to sit on the bench.
It is.
He got a $128 million contract, and of course, a lot of that money is guaranteed, so he's going to get it whether he plays or not. Which is, you know, if I'm Jeff Lurie, everybody fired. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. Y'all have got me to pay this boy $128 million and he can't play? All of y'all fired. Everybody. Janitor too. Everybody leave. Get out.
But if you think about it, though, too, the other piece is that did Wentz really prove that he was worth that money?
You preaching now. See, the only time he was, like, really great was 2017. And, of course, he got injured. And then 2018, you coming back from that injury, so they don't expect you to be as good. And he wasn't great last year until like the end, when it was desperation time. And so, no, no, he hasn't. And with all the injuries that he had, remember, he had the, his legs. He hurt his leg, his knee. And then he had like a cracked bone in his back. And then he had the concussion. And I just think the injuries have taken their toll on his career maybe early. I hope that's not the case, but that's kind of what I'm seeing, Kawesa.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing too. And I like I was kind of saying a little bit earlier, like I think that, some of those knocks, they really, I think that he's hesitant to do, some of the things, but you don't want him to get out of the pocket too much because then he gets hurt. That's what happened the last time. So, it's kind of like a double-edged sword there, catch-22. I don't know, but like I said, I think that they should just, throw Hurts in there, see what he can do, and we go from there.
Well, he gonna get hurt standing in the pocket too, so it don't make no difference. Right. Ain't nobody blocking. Look, you might as well go ahead and run, man. Do what you got to do. Save yourself. 215-634-8065, of course, is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And, of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we have a few folks weighing in saying good morning. So shout out to Raphael Suleiman, Linda Pierce, and Cheryl Brown for tuning in. Linda Pierce is saying, wow, a mess. I think that's in regards to the story we were talking about, the young man who was shot and killed. And then also Shalata C.A. Sankofa, good morning to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Nikasa Hu, thank you so much for tuning in. Juanita Bryant says, I agree with all Eagles fans who think the team should have kept Nick Foles. What a mess since he was let go. So that's another comment. Geraldine Mayfield, good morning to you. Deborah Dorn Carter, good morning to you as well. And then Ayatunde Garrett says, good morning, Word family. Yes, we have to create some joyous moments during this time of the year. So those are just a few comments that we have on our Facebook page.
All right. So also want to hear about your holiday plans. Like, what are you doing? Are you already decorating? Did you buy something new? Are you doing something different? Because this year is so different. This is a crazy, crazy year, man. And, none of us has ever seen anything like it. But I want to know what you're doing to deal with it. What are you doing to make it better? What are you doing to bring yourself some joy? So you can let us know about that as well. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. The other thing that happened this weekend, which was bizarre, was Donald Trump went down to Georgia to hold a rally, right? And the rally was supposed to be for the two Republican candidates who are running for the Senate in Georgia. They have a runoff election January 5th. So they down there at another super spreader event with all of these people with no masks on, shoulder to shoulder, hollering and screaming. And Donald Trump is talking about the election was rigged, and that's why he lost, and the governor should be replaced. How would you guys like Doug Collins for your governor? And the governor won't do what I tell him to do. And all of this like nonsense. And these people are lapping it up. And here's the deep thing, Kawesa. When Kelly Loeffler, she's one of the people running, got up to talk, do her little spiel, the people was like yelling over her like, save Trump, stop the steal. Yo, he gonna make them lose. And in my view, couldn't happen to nicer people.
I agree with you. And the thing is, he's just, at this point, he's just making a mockery of our democracy. That's how I feel. Like, he's going out there and just being irresponsible. Like, there also comes a point when, when you think of well-rounded Republicans, they're like, okay, you know what, I lost. Let me make sure, though, that the rest of the party is not impacted by what I'm doing. And he doesn't even think like that. He only thinks about himself.
Yeah. Yeah. It is so crazy to watch it, man, because he don't care about none of them. And they following him. I don't understand it. I really don't. Y'all can't see he don't care about you? If he cared about you, would he have you out there at a rally when it's 2,000 new cases of COVID every day? Would he have you out there with no mask on, standing next to each other? Like, would he have your life at risk? Rudy Giuliani got it now. Everybody that been around him, his wife didn't had it, his son didn't had it. He don't care. Like, y'all better get yourselves together, man, because we all, at the end of the day, we all got to live here. And I can't have y'all just being nuts, man, and just believing anything. I can't have y'all doing that. So please straighten up, fly right, get yourself together. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we are going to continue the show right here on WURD.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products, and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, WURD family. Our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
Monday through Thursday, keep it locked to WURD Radio. At 6 a.m., start your day with the Power Hour, hosted by Bishop Dwayne Royster and Reverend Mark Kelly Tyler. At 7, it's Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones. At 10 a.m., it's Reality Check with Charles Ellison. Then at 1 p.m., it's The Source, hosted by Andrea Lawful-Sanders on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and the Black Women's Leadership Council on Wednesdays. At 4 p.m., it's Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Then at 7, it's Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. At 9 p.m., round up your day with Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Keep your dial locked to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app. Or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. WURD Radio. Independent Black Media. Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Staples Store. Some volume spots heavy here in Philadelphia area. Schuylkill westbound University through the Vine. Jammed up through the construction zone. Eastbound side Montgomery through Spring Garden getting busy. Westbound Vine Expressway delays 8th out through Broad. Heavy Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. 95 southbound you're jammed up from Cottman down through Bridge through that construction. Again, Betsy Ross through Girard. Northbound 95 near the Betsy Ross Bridge. We have an earlier accident that has been cleared, so delays there have already eased out this morning. Looking at the PA Turnpike, Bluebird 476 moving 555 north. Busy. Deptford into 42. Staples has you ship all your gifts and packages this year. Now you can save 25% on UPS expedited shipping services, plus take up to 30% off select shipping supplies like boxes, tape, and padded mailers. In-store only. Offer ends 1/2/21. See store for details. Staples. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Back by popular demand. It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. So I'm behind the scenes. I'm talking to my wife, right? And, I like my car neat on the inside. She doesn't necessarily like it that way, her car. So she talked about, you should ask them, do they keep their car neat or not neat? But I don't want to talk about it. Well, I mean, if you do. What do you think, Quay? I know you keep your car neat, don't you?
It's very neat. My car stays neat. I don't even like to eat in my car unless it's like an emergency. No, because I've been in some cars. They've had some things in them. And I'm like, I don't even want to put my feet down. I'm like, wait.
You don't want to touch nothing.
No.
Like, yeah, I mean, so I'm the type I like to wash my own car when I get it washed, because other people don't seem to wash it right.
That's
so I
true.
gotta get my little hose out. They don't care. They leaving the little spots on there, but wash my car, man. So I like to wash my own and get all on the inside, and but I don't do it as often as I would like to. So sometimes I gotta go to the car wash and just take my chances. But I always go to the one where they do the inside too. I can't. I need all that clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Oh, man. So I want to hear from you guys. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. So, Kawesa, I did watch Jingle Jangle. Did I tell you that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we watched it. I liked it. I thought that first dance number was like, wow. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. They didn't put some money and some time and some effort and some practice into this. And I did like it. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a little long.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
A little long.
It took me a couple times but it was so magical and fun and happy, and we need those types of movies. We really
do. With black people in them.
Right. With whole black people. Not just like one or two.
That's right. With happy black people. So I dug that. That was good. But I want to know what your favorite Christmas movies are. Your favorite Christmas or holiday movies. What are your favorite movies? Because there's some that you just got to watch every single year. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Like it's not the holidays if you don't watch this movie. So there are absolutely some that you got to watch every year. I want to know what yours are. What are your favorite Christmas or holiday movies, because they on now, and I know y'all watching them. So give me some names of those. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. The other thing I want to talk about is this. Is it Carson Wentz or is it Jalen Hurts? Do you give the young brother a chance? I want to know what you think about that. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And, of course, Rudy Giuliani, now the latest in Donald Trump's orbit to have COVID-19, and was admitted to Georgetown University Hospital. And so, we hope it's not that serious. I don't want to wish that on anybody. But, they run around with no masks on. Kawesa, they've been doing it since the beginning. Going and, asking other people, do you want to take your mask off and all of that. Like, nah, dog, I don't want it to, because I know you ain't had yours on this whole time. I don't want to be around you for real at all. But if I am, I'm going to keep my mask on because you're not. And so, it is serious, man. Not only for Rudy Giuliani, but especially for black folks, because we are dying at almost 3 times the rate of our white counterparts from COVID-19. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. What is your favorite Christmas or holiday movie? You got to watch it or it just ain't Christmas. Let's go to Facebook and see what people are saying there. You can, of course, weigh in at Facebook at FORWURD. That's 4WURD on Facebook. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a couple comments here. Arlene Wright says, I'm not praying for Rudy. Okay. Hey, look, to each his own. Sana Moore says, my holiday is not complete until I watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's a good movie. Yeah, that's a good movie. Michelle Tulak Neal says, good morning, Word family. I need my car clean and neat. And then Gary Butler Sr. says, I drive an SUV, but it's a one-seater because of clutter. Don't ask for a ride. Don't tell people that. And then Arlene Wright also says, secret to washing the roof, get a dust mop and use it wet. That's actually a good idea because I'm short. I can never get the top of my car ever. And then Gail Robinson is saying, Solomon, your tree looks beautiful. So that's another comment that we have here. And I did catch a couple I'm trying to grab now, if I can. She also, Gail Robinson also says, good morning to us. And she's saying, enjoy your day because it seems to be getting hard to say that, but with hope and faith, it will get better. So that's another comment. And Craig Williams says, Christmas decorations, including the tree, have been up since Thanksgiving, trying our best to brighten up our environment and mood. So that's another comment that we have there as well. But yeah, a lot of folks got their decorations up before Thanksgiving, and we usually do it afterwards. And so yeah, I know that it was necessary for a lot of folks to do it early.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to feel better, man, because this is crazy. This is crazy, and then not only do you have COVID and people losing their jobs and businesses closing and some of us have lost loved ones. Like, this is serious, man. But then on top of all of that, Kwesi, you got Trump just acting crazy. And it's like, it's hard to deal with. It really is. It's hard to deal with all of this. If you are thinking about it, talking about it, living through it all the time, sometime you got to talk about something else. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Let's go to Mike from North Philly on line 1. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, Solomon. How you doing, good brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Listen, 3 quick things. Rudy Giuliani and all the other Trump supporters, they asked for that.
They really did.
Their party over their life.
They really did.
So
you're right.
If they get COVID out there coughing and sneezing, they asked for that. Put a mask on. The second thing is, I got to watch the Christmas Carol, but it got to be the cartoon version.
Oh, you like the cartoon version?
I love the cartoon version. Yeah.
Okay.
And the third thing is, we got to put Hurts in there, because if that was Donald McNabb that had a bad stretch like this,
I know.
They be calling for, they be exercising him. They be exercising demons from him right now. You know what I mean? But they give him a longer leash, and they paid him all that money. And like Kwesi said earlier, he hadn't even proved anything yet.
No, he didn't.
If he's gonna be a free agent, let him be a free agent. Because Trubisky, they're not gonna re-sign him. So yeah, but I think Hurts over Wentz. Thanks.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your call this morning on WURD radio. See, you know what it seemed like? It seemed like Carson Wentz won't do what the coaches tell him to do. There's no way the offense is that bad. He just seemed like like common sense stuff, dude. They coming for you, throw the ball away, run out the pocket, run away, do something. Don't just stand there and lose 10 yards twice in a row and take us out of field. Like, I'm watching him, and I'm like, I can't believe that this is what you do for a living. They pay you for this? If I came in here and couldn't do the show and had no idea what I was doing, and suddenly, I just lose every ounce of sense that I got, then I'm gone. You can't. How that's your job, and you don't know how to do it anymore. Kwesi, help me out.
Yeah, I can't. You're right. Like, how you funking up the field that bad? Like, it stinks out there. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't even, but yeah, like, I don't know what it is, but he is just, I don't know. It's awful. And it's like a train wreck, and you can't turn your eyes away from it. It's like, you can't really be that bad. Like, you questioning yourself, like, it's not really that bad. My mind is playing tricks on me. It's not really this awful. And it is. It is.
It's worse than you think. It's worse than what you see. Because some stuff, your mind is just like, all right, we ain't going to see that. It is bad. And it's like, yo, man, come on, bruh. This Philly, we can't roll like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. Mike said Jalen Hurts. And he also said the cartoon Christmas Carol. And I'm trying to think, do you remember the cartoon Christmas Carol?
The one that I'm thinking of is the one with, like, what was it? Gosh, not Donald Duck, but it's like that's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of the animated version. But it's not Donald Duck. It's no, wait, maybe it is. Or he's not Donald Duck, but he looks like Donald. But that's the one that I'm thinking of when I think of the cartoon version of Ebenezer Scrooge, of the Christmas Carol. Oh wait, no.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah, it's a couple of them. So, I like the really old one. If I'm gonna watch a Christmas Carol, I want to see the real old one,
I mean,
the black and white joint. Like, yeah. And I'm not. I like some old movies, not most, but that one I do. That one I do. I like that. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Of course, another shooting of a black man by police, this time in Columbus, Ohio. Man only 23 years old, and his name was Casey Goodson Jr. Apparently, the police were looking for somebody else. They see him, and they claim he was riding in a car waving a gun, right, as he passed by them, and that he was later confronted by a member of their SWAT team who shot him after he did not follow a command to drop his weapon. The family is saying something completely different, right? His sister, Kaylee Harper, said that her brother was in the process of entering his home while holding a sandwich when he was shot by police. They're lying, she posted on social media. My brother literally walked across the yard, walked into the back fence to get to the side door, had his Subway and mask in one hand, keys in the other. Why did you kill a man walking into his own home? He just wanted to enjoy his Subway after leaving the dentist's office. Police shot him in the back 3 times through the door. That's what his mother said, according to a report from BET. So, police claimed that he had this gun and he was waving it and all of this, but doesn't sound right. Not from what the family is saying. They wouldn't just – I can't see them just making that up. What do you think, Kawesa?
Yeah, I mean, and they're saying that he got shot in his back too. Like that, I always wonder how someone is a threat when their back is turned to you, and the answer is they're not a threat.
Exactly.
So no matter what happened, I'm not going to sit here and say one way or the other because, things are still moving along in this. But when you shoot someone in their back, and they even have laws about this, if a thief comes into your house and they are fleeing and you shoot them in your back, then usually you're held liable for doing that. Mm-hmm. So, I don't really care what the rest of the story is. You shot the man in his back and he's not a threat to you. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. So, let's go to Ronald from West Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Ronald.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
2 things. One thing, I used to work in a deli in West Philly, near University of Pennsylvania. Well, a lot of off-duty undercover cops come and hang out. That was one of the things we discussed. They mentioned it too. A man with his back to you does not pose a threat, and a lot of them would discuss about how if you shot somebody, you wanted to make sure they weren't turned around because you may have had a legal shot when they were facing you, but if their body's turned to the side or back, there's going to be a controversy. Have you explained how the man has a bullet in his back? Number 2, Solomon, I'm with you. I love the old black and white Christmas carols.
Yeah, that's the good one.
Going back to like 1932, 1940, one with Alexander McLean. That's my favorite. I mean, the dialogue there is so much to be discussed as far as the dialogue, the old British talk and things like that. I just love the old movies. I love
the old one's good. That one's good. So I want to thank you, Ronald. Thank you for your call, brother. Appreciate that this morning on WURD. Now, we got a text from Sana Moore letting us know which Christmas carol Mike was probably talking about, Kawhi. So what'd she say?
It's Mr. Magoo. His Christmas carol. Yeah. Okay. I remember that one.
Okay.
Vaguely.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like Mr. Magoo in here. Look, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we are going to continue the show right here on WURD Radio. But before we do that, I want to thank all of our sponsors and partners who help to make the 5th Annual Empowerment Expo possible. Of course, also a special shout out to Cody Anderson. And we appreciate you and continue to celebrate your legacy. We stand on your shoulders, brother, so we appreciate that. We're going to go to break, and on the other side, we are going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Seniors, does your doctor regularly reach out to check on you? Can you walk into your doctor's office and see them if you need to? Do you have your doctor's cell phone number, and can you call them anytime, day or night? At Dedicated Senior Medical Center, their only specialty is caring for seniors. Dedicated makes it easy to get the primary care you deserve. Doctors spend more time with patients than the doctors you may be used to. They offer telehealth visits, help you get your medications, and even make sure you get to your appointments. If your doctor isn't treating you like family, it's time to say yes to Dedicated Senior Medical Center. Call Dedicated Senior Medical Center today to schedule a visit and find out what you're missing. Call 267-443-1900. That's 267-443-1900. Appointments are available now.
Dietz & Watson has been making premium meats and artisan cheeses for over 80 years. And when it comes to stacking sandwiches and party platters, they've got something for everyone in the family, like maple honey turkey breast, American cheese, buffalo chicken, and more. So get to your local deli and taste 4 generations of family recipes. With Dietz & Watson on the table, you'll have everyone coming back for seconds and thirds. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Staples Stores. 95 southbound, pretty heavy Cotman down through Bridge, through construction. Then again, Betsy Ross through Girard northbound side, no major problems. Westbound Vine delays from 8th Street right through the Schuylkill Expressway, generally slow. Schuylkill westbound jamming University through the Vine through construction. Eastbound side, Montgomery through Girard light. PA Turnpike, Blue Ridge 476, still moving fine there this morning. 55 northbound Deptford in 42, a bit of a slow ride. Staples has cards and invitations to help you connect with clients and loved ones. Choose from hundreds of holiday templates to customize. Now get 30% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Offer ends 12/19/20, limit 1. Visit staples.com/holiday cards or store for details. Staples. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We are, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. So, of course, we're also talking about Christmas and the holidays and what you are doing. Are you decorating? Are you have you done it early? Are you doing it bigger than you normally do, just to get some sunshine, some light, some joy in this crazy time, man? Because we are dealing with some craziness, man. You know, businesses shutting down, people out of work, people, you know, dealing with loss because so many people have passed away due to COVID. And so a lot of people using decorations and the holidays really to try to lift their spirits. So I want to know what you guys are doing that's special that you don't normally do. Give us a call. Let us know. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I guess the other thing we could talk about is the movies that you watch every year, what is your movie tradition around Christmas, around the holidays? It's just not the holidays if you don't watch this movie. I want to know what you think. You know what it is for me, Kuwais? I got to be honest. I got to keep it real. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's the year without a Santa Claus.
What?
Yup. The year without a Santa Claus. With Heat Miser? Come on, man. Come on, man. You don't know nothing about Heat Miser, do you?
I've seen Heat Miser.
You've never seen the Heat Miser movie?
I think I have, but I was young, very young.
It's the year without a Santa Claus. You got to watch that. I watch it just for that scene with Heat Miser and his little minions singing. Yeah, that's my joint. The year without a Santa Claus. So I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. Now, you've got one that is good and that I know our audience has seen. So what is it?
Do I no, but, well, no, the one that I was thinking of when we were talking about the cartoon version was Scrooge McDuck. I couldn't think of the name, but Scrooge McDuck from the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol. That's the one I grew up on. So that's one for me. But also, I'm definitely like a Home Alone girl. The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Those are great movies. And then I'm always down for a good musical. So, like, if, like, The Wizard of Oz or The Sound of Music comes on, I'll watch those, too, for whatever, or The Wiz. Those three I'll definitely watch if they pop up on around the holidays as well.
What about Elf?
Elf was okay. I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan. That's my issue. Like, I think because off-screen he's a little, like, persnickety and crabby and stuff sometimes. I'm just like, I don't believe you, but it's cute. It's funny. It's very funny, and it's a fun, enjoyable family movie. And so I would watch it. I wouldn't discount it, but it's not my go-to.
So I need a black one. So I want to hear from y'all. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. Sister Murray from University City is on line 1. Go ahead, Sister Murray.
Good morning, Solomon. Happy
Good morning.
Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday.
I like the Grinch, of course.
Uh-huh.
But Solomon, now listen. I have to.
You sound far away.
Okay. Listen. Now, number 45 went to Atlanta, Georgia to go fight for the Senate seats, right? But that all turned out about him. Everything was about him still winning the elections, right? Which we all know that this man must do what? Go, right? Now listen. Satan is the author of confusion. God is the author of perfection. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Where does Satan need to go from here? That's Trump. He needs to be gone. We're going to take those seats, okay? We're going to get those seats. So everybody, whatever you got, left, penny coins, whatever you can find around your house, send it. How much time we got, Solomon? We still got some more time. How much time?
Time for what?
So we can still send them money to get the seats for the Senate.
Oh, well, the election is January 5th.
Okay. So
all right, so it's December 7th, right? So you got almost a month.
Okay. So let's continue to get to fight for those seats because we need them. If you're black, like me, and you, we need those seats. Our life is dependent on it. Have a good day, Solomon.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD. Let's go. Okay, let's not. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. You can, of course, also weigh in on Facebook at FORWURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Let us know where you are in these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065 or FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we do have a couple more comments here talking about some of the movies. I know that Donna had called it. She said Preacher's Wife, the Denzel version. So that's one. And then also she had mentioned Charlie Brown Christmas as well. And then we also have here, I'm trying to pull it up. Keith Harris says, good morning, Word family. My favorite Christmas movie is The Christmas Story. So that's another one. A couple other people have mentioned Mr. Magoo as Ebenezer Scrooge. And then Mike Jackson says the cartoon one I was referring to, oh, this is when he called, Jim Carrey as the Scrooge. So we were all wrong.
Yeah,
he's talking about,
wrong.
He's talking about, okay, got it. Is that Scrooge or is that Grinch?
No, that's Scrooge. Jim Carrey also plays the Grinch, though.
Okay, all right. I'm learning something new today. All right, cool. And so we also have Lois Rubin Mark saying This Christmas. So that is a black movie as well. That's with oh my gosh, Delroy Lindo. You also have oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name right now, but a lot of folks who are in. Chris Brown is in it. So yeah, that's another family movie this Christmas. Idris Elba's in that too. Ayatunde Garrett says Home Alone as well. Christmas Carol, the black and white version. So that's another comment that we have. And then a couple other people jumped in with The Preacher's Wife as well. Victoria Stith says Preacher's Wife and A Christmas Story as well. And then somebody else had mentioned Miracle on 34th Street. That was Gloria Hammond who called in, and she says hi, Solomon. So yeah, quite a few folks weighing in on the movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain stuff you just you gotta watch it, and I think The Preacher's Wife is one of them. I like The Preacher's Wife with Denzel. Of course, that's based on an older movie called The Bishop's Wife. My wife, she got me knowing like all these old movies. I'm not even an old movie, but I'll sit down with her and watch it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so there's all of that as well. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Shakumba is on line 4. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Miss Shakumba speaking. I'm talking about this here bill that's coming up for passage. Okay, the 200366. That was passed it's coming up for its last reading this Thursday. And that deals with the abatement. We have got to stop the abatement. Talking about Christmas songs and things like this when our people, our kids are suffering.
You know what? But we can't, Shakumba, let me tell you something. Like, we're not going to talk about the same thing all the time. And so sometimes we're going to talk about something different. Sometimes we're going to talk about something happy. I know that it's coming up for final passage. It's already passed out of the committee of the whole. They've got the votes to pass it. Now, we can talk about it. We can certainly talk about it, but I'm just telling you, they have the votes to pass it. So now what you have to decide is what you are going to do after they pass it.
No,
because they already got the votes. It already passed out of the committee of the whole.
I'd like for us to put forth as much effort as possible. I do not recommend the fact that we accept that it's going to pass.
I'm not saying, I'm just telling you.
It's not over until the fat lady sings.
All
okay?
right.
And then she hasn't sung to me yet. Okay?
Okay.
And we need to get people to get on the phone, call, and send them emails, do whatever we got to do, and put forth the biggest effort we can put forth now to stop this from passing. I don't want to wait till after it passed. Okay? And I'm not willing to say that it's all over. That's
okay. Thank you for your call. I appreciate your call this morning on WURD. You know, sometimes I think because we are in, we're in a different situation. And so because we are in a situation where we can't necessarily go and storm city council, because that's what I would recommend it, but we can't do that. It's just a different situation. So you got to come up with different strategies for different situations. I wish that I had not been sick and had not learned about this at the last minute, but I did. You know what I mean? So, I think that we have to come up with some different strategies around some of the things that we want. But I think the biggest strategy is vote. And I get frustrated because we will run out and do everything we got to do to vote for the president, but we won't vote in local elections. When local elections are the thing that impact you the most. And so when something passes the committee of the whole, that means they have the 9 votes plus that they need in order to pass it. And certainly I agree with you that we should, do everything that we can to make sure that We get what we want, but sometimes you got to get folks on the back end. And what that means is organizing to either run your own candidate or organizing to support somebody who's running against the person that you want out. Sometimes you got to play the long game. That's all I'm telling you. You know, as somebody who's been involved in politics, I'm always going to be straight up with y'all. I'm always going to be honest. And sometimes you got to play the long game and vote people out. Bottom line. Kathy from Mount Airy is on line 1. Go ahead, Kathy.
Good morning, Solomon. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, thank you. So there are actually 2 movies that I absolutely love at this time of year.
Okay.
And that is the Alice the Sim version of Scrooge. That's from 1951, black and white. Well, they've colorized it, but black and white. And I absolutely love It's a Wonderful Life. I love It's a Wonderful Life. And that
Jimmy
came
Stewart.
out, yeah, Jimmy Stewart. I want to say that came out in 46 or 47.
Wow.
But I have to see those 2 movies. But it's not Christmas to me until I hear Nat King Cole's
How about that?
On an open fire.
You're right about that. I love that. I love that song.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. You and
you're
Felicia
welcome.
have a great day.
Okay, you too. You too. So we're going to go to break, and on the other side of the break, I need a break. Sometimes I need a break. We're going to talk to Andre Segura. He's the legal director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Texas. We're going to talk about voting because there's a woman named Crystal Mason who was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison for submitting a provisional ballot that was not counted in the November 2016 election. So we're going to talk with Andre on the other side. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
There's a pressing need to strengthen pathways to better jobs in communities of color. That's why Bank of America is investing $1 billion to advance racial equality and economic opportunity.
I'm Jim Dever, Greater Philadelphia Market President for Bank of America. We've partnered with Coded by Kids to connect people to new skills and employment opportunities. It's just one way we're taking action in Greater Philadelphia right now.
Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Do you want to help kids in foster care? CASA Youth Advocates is seeking volunteers of color to advocate for the youth they serve. 50% of kids in the Delaware and Chester County foster care system are children of color, yet only 9% of CASA Youth Advocate volunteers are people of color. Children in foster care greatly benefit from advocates who look like and can relate to them. They desperately need more volunteers of color. Visit delcocasa.org for more info. That's www.delcocasa.org.
As a business owner, hiring and developing people from the community that your company serves is one of the best ways to show commitment to that community. Let WURD Radio help with Livelihood, our new initiative that connects Philadelphians with companies like yours. We'll feature your business, open employment opportunities, and resources to connect your company with talent and ensure that you reach your target demographic. To learn more about how Livelihood can help you build your team, visit wordworks.com. That's WURD Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Staples Stores. 95 southbound, pretty heavy coming down through Bridge, through construction. Then again, Betsy Ross through Girard northbound side, no major problems. Westbound Vine delays from 8th Street right through the Schuylkill Expressway, generally slow. Schuylkill westbound, jamming University through the Vine, through construction. Eastbound side, Montgomery through Girard Light. PA Turnpike, Blue Route 476, still moving fine there this morning. 55 northbound, Deptford into 42, a bit of a slow ride. Staples has cards and invitations to help you connect with clients and loved ones. Choose from hundreds of holiday templates to customize. Now get 30% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Offer ends 12/19/20, limit 1. Visit staples.com/holiday cards or store for details. Staples. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. And we're joined by our first guest. Andre Segura is the legal director of the ACLU of Texas, and he's here to talk about the case of Crystal Mason, who was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison for voting illegally. Andre Segura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, you're welcome. So what happened with Crystal Mason?
Crystal Mason is a case gone horribly wrong. She went to vote several years ago, found that her name was not on the rolls, and she did what you're supposed to do. If you think you're eligible to vote, you fill out a provisional ballot, and someone is going to check to see if it's valid or not, and then if it is, you vote, your vote's counted, and it's not, it's not a vote, and that's what happened here. She submitted a provisional ballot. It wasn't counted, so she didn't vote, and then several weeks later, she was arrested for illegally voting.
What county in Texas was she living in?
This is in Tarrant County, which is where Fort Worth is located.
Mm-hmm. And what was her situation? Why was she not on the rolls?
So she had served time in federal prison, and she had served her entire sentence. And she had been, during that time, she was taken off the voter rolls, but she didn't receive any notice of that. Okay. And then she's placed on something called supervised release, which is basically what you get after serving federal time, and you're released and you have to check in. There's no state equivalent to that. It's not like probation where you serve your time outside of jail, or parole where you're released early. She had served all of her time. No one told her that she wasn't eligible to vote, or that the state considered her ineligible to vote. So when her mom and her went to go vote, which they did every time, a family tradition, she thought that there was no problem. And then when she didn't find her name on the roll, where she had always voted her entire life, until from when she was eligible to vote, she submitted a provisional ballot as she was instructed to.
And so I'm curious, was it because she was a convicted felon do they take away your voting rights in Texas because of that? Because they don't do that here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so here in Texas, they are taken away if you're convicted of a felony until you serve your entire sentence. And that includes, under state law, any term of probation or parole. And so here because the federal system is different, it doesn't square up perfectly with what the state says, right? And so the state considered her ineligible to vote, and that's why they brought this case. But no one told her that being on this post-sentence program in the federal system made you ineligible. So what this is at worst, innocent mistake, right? Yeah. That should never have been prosecuted. And at best, she's allowed to vote. And the problem here is there's a lack of clarity, which results in people not knowing whether they can vote or not. And one of the worst things about this case is that the law says that you have to actually have known that you're ineligible to vote and vote anyway, right? All Crystal knew was that she was on federal supervised release. She didn't know she was ineligible, and they prosecuted her anyways. In criminal law, right, you have to have the state of mind that you're actually intending to violate the law. And what the court found here is that it didn't matter whether Crystal knew or not. All that mattered was that she knew she was on federal supervised release, which is a huge problem for Texas. And as you know, a lot of people vote provisionally. You may move counties and forget to register, and you go and you're like, hey, I can vote, and you fill out the form. Well, in that case, you're actually voting while ineligible because you haven't registered in the right county. So this opens up a huge area of potential prosecutions for people. So what we're asking for now is for the state's highest criminal court to take her case and to fix this, right? This is just something that needs to be fixed. What happened to Crystal was extremely unfair, injustice, and what could potentially happen to thousands of other Texans is really problematic.
So did they immediately put her in jail? So she had just gotten out of jail. She voted. A couple weeks later, they come and arrest her. Did they immediately put her back in jail?
She had to go back in jail because a federal judge found that she had violated her terms of supervised release. And so she had to go back, and then she served that time at a halfway home. And then she got out of that. Since then, she has been out of jail fighting her state case. She has a wonderful job. She takes care of her kids. But what's most amazing about Crystal is that I think a lot of people would find that they would never vote again. They wouldn't encourage people to vote. And what's happened with Crystal is she's done the exact opposite. She has become the face of engaging voters, of getting out the vote, because she wants people to use their voice and not have it taken away like it has been from her. Her kids have volunteered with political campaigns to get people registered to vote. It's really amazing because I think if this had happened to me, I'd be like, I'm not doing that again. Because why risk so much? And for her, she knows how important it is for people to know their rights and to exercise and to not give up their right to vote. And that's what she's been dedicated to, including fighting her case, taking care of her family.
We're talking with Andre Segura from the American Civil Liberties Union of Texas about the case of Crystal Mason, who was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison for allegedly voting illegally. But it just sounds like a misunderstanding to me. And I'm trying to understand why they couldn't just straighten this out, or were they just, was this something that they were doing at the time? This is the 2016 election. Was this something that they were doing? Were they targeting people and trying to make examples of people around voting?
Yeah, and it's hard to understand exactly why this went so wrong for Crystal. You know, the polling judge was one of her neighbors who seemed to have some issues with Crystal. We don't know exactly. And I think one of the problems is in Texas, our state officials try to make major cases out of any potential voting fraud because they want to prove that voting fraud is actually a major problem when we know, in fact, it's almost non-existent. And when voting fraud does exist, or when people vote illegally, it's usually when they have a personal interest in the election, right? Like, if they swing a couple of votes this way or that way, they could get elected, or their relative could get elected. That's what we see. They're very, very rare cases. Here, Crystal had no incentive, no personal gain right after getting out of prison to go and vote and do it illegally, right? This is the general election for the presidential election and all of the other ones. Why would she risk her life? And I think part of the other issue is that she didn't take a plea bargain. And I think a lot of the people who are accused of doing something like this, even if it's in their personal interest, even if it's really bad, they end up taking a plea bargain and get something very light, not having to serve any time or something like that. But Crystal was adamant, as she should have been, that she didn't think she did anything wrong. Why is she going to plead guilty to something? Yeah. And so she fought her case. She lost at the trial court. The judge sentenced her to 5 years, and then we took the case after that on appeal along with her original criminal defense attorney, because we thought it was so important that this case really get a lot of attention because of how unfair. I think anyone you tell the story to, they're just like, why would that happen?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what are the next steps with this?
So here in Texas, we have the Court of Criminal Appeals. That's the highest state criminal court. It's like the Texas Supreme Court for criminal cases. We've already asked them to take her case. And so just like our United States Supreme Court, they get to decide which cases they take and which cases they don't. And so right now we've submitted that. We think we have really strong arguments as to why her conviction should be overturned, why the court needs to fix this. And then we have other organizations submitting briefs in support of her. And so we're hoping that they'll take the case and we'll fix this. And if not, we're going to keep fighting for her.
All right. All right. Well, that is Andre Segura. He is the legal director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Texas. He joined us to discuss the troubling case of Crystal Mason, who was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison for voting illegally when apparently she didn't. So where can people read more about this case?
You can, if you just Google HOU of Texas, Crystal Mason, you can find her there. Or also, Crystal has on Facebook, she's got a page called Crystal Mason The Fight. You can go there to learn more about what Crystal's doing.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning on WURD Radio. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. So we're going to take your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on any of these things we're talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065. So give us a call. Let us know. 215-634-8065. You can also hit us on Facebook at FORWURD, FORWURD. That's FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we do have a couple of comments here. We have Atia Hicks saying, dang, that's messed up. Not her fault. Had no knowledge she couldn't vote. Shaking my head. So that's one comment that we have here as well. Good morning to Walter Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in here. And then we also have Nikki Carter saying, I remember this story. They railroaded this and used her as an example. Such a shame. So that's another comment that we have in regards to our interview that we just had a moment ago. And then a couple others that I did see as well that I was trying to pull up, if I can grab it. Norma Gowan, in regards to some of the movies, he's actually saying, Trading Places, watch it every holiday season. It's a classic. So that's one comment. And then Kelly Sparrow Mickens is saying that now her vote is for Jingle Jangle on Netflix with Forrest Whitaker and Felicia Rashad. So that's another comment that we have. And Janelle Allen says, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and Home Alone, but now I try to focus on more black holiday movies. Jingle Jangle is now added to the favorites list. And Calvin Moody says Bad Santa is one of the movies. You know, I'm surprised nobody has mentioned Die Hard yet. That's a wonderful Christmas movie.
Well, there's a debate. There's a debate as to whether or not that's a Christmas movie.
I say it is.
Because it's an action movie.
I know. There's,
you know what I mean?
There's lights, there's Christmas trees and that.
Wait a minute. It's a Christmas party. It starts at like the office Christmas party, right?
Yeah.
That's what, okay. And y'all calling it a Christmas. Okay. All right. Well, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. There's like, and it's like this huge debate. Like, is Die Hard really a Christmas movie? Well, I guess since they got some lights in it, I guess it is. So
it is. No.
Okay. All right. Kawesa has declared it. So let it be written. So let it be done. Die Hard is now a Christmas movie. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. I'm trying to think of more black Christmas movies. And the only ones I can think of are like the movies, like you don't really know the name of them because they're on the Hallmark Channel, and it's like they all kind of have the same plot a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Is that blasphemy? Am I?
No, it's fair.
Okay, because it's the truth. They all kind of got the same plot. You know, and you watch them. I watch them, and go to sleep or whatever. But I think that they're cute little movies, like the Hallmark Lifetime type. But I never know the name of them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only like a few for me, like This Christmas and. What was that other one? Almost Christmas. That was one with Danny Glover. And I think the only other one is Best Man Holiday. And that, those are the only three that I can really think of off the top of my head. After that, I'm like, I'm out. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to know what you guys think. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. You know, sometimes, Kawesa, and you know, I just get these moods sometimes where, you know what, I just want to, I want to talk about something light sometime. Just, you know what I mean? Because this stuff is so heavy. If we really think about it, right, and really dig into it, you know, constantly, every day, it's a lot. Your president is insane. He's crazy, right? And he's got crazy people following him. And we don't know where he's going. You know, with this whole, the election was stolen from me, it's fraud, and now he's asking for the names of the Republicans who won't say that that the election was stolen. Like, he's crazy. And you just don't know where he's going with that. You know, so you've got that. You've got people who've actually lost their lives that we know, family members, friends, people we went to school with, who have died from COVID-19. We got a 14-year-old that they just held a candlelight vigil for because he was shot here in Philadelphia in Almy. You know, you've got the city council ready to pass an extension to a tax abatement that takes money out of the schools. And they'd already cut the deal with the mayor. You know, so it's like you got all of this stuff going on, and you know, we could certainly talk about all of that, right? I'm conversing on all of it, right? We can talk about all of that. But the reality is that sometimes you got to take a minute to have some happiness, to have some joy, to have some laughter, to have some cheer. Otherwise, you go crazy. And I see that as part of what I am charged to do. I see that as part of my job, part of my mission, part of my ministry, if you will, to make sure that not only do you understand what's going on politically, not only do you know what's happening with the heavy stuff, but sometimes you just got to take a minute, right? And just a minute to smile, man, and not be, you know, walk around like you've been sucking on sour lemons all with your mouth poked out. Like, I'm not going to be mad all the time. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Because that can affect your spirit. That can affect you mentally. That can affect you to the point where you are physically ill because you always mad. Like, that's what I've learned, Kawesa. I've learned that it's best not to always be mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. You gotta laugh a little because, man, like, this world is just so toxic right now. You can't stay in that negative space all the time, because if you stay there, it starts to impact your mental health. It starts to impact your physical health. You know, sometimes you just gotta woosah, rub the pressure points, you know, and just, you know, take that moment to just be thankful and grateful for just happier times. Like, sometimes we just got to reflect on the happy times because, you know, sometimes it gets a little bleak. And so we need to have these conversations to make us laugh and to make us think about, you know, happier moments that we can be appreciative of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are going to go to break, and on the other side of this break, we're going to talk to you. So you can give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
This year's been tough, but it's given me a lot of time to learn new skills through the internet.
I've been joining more classes during lockdown.
I'm doing an internship.
I taught myself how to play guitar.
So when people ask,
will I be able to learn online?
I feel like I'm ready.
Internet Essentials from Comcast has connected millions of families from low-income homes to the internet. So no matter what back to school looks like, students can be ready for anything. Learn more at comcast.com/internetessentials.
Just one more step. You got it.
You're doing great. This is the sound of a nationally ranked top rehabilitation hospital, home to the largest collection of robotics in the United States, where we continually exceed patient expectations. because no injury is too severe or too minor for our care.
There you go.
This is the sound of success. Moss Rehab. Challenge accepted.
WURD Radio presents the following wellness tip to support our listeners with mindfulness and motivation as we continue to navigate the pandemic together.
Hi, this is Halana, your resident health and wellness coach with tips to help you stay well. We breathe every day and have been doing so since before we were born. But wait, let's think about this for a moment. Something as simple as breathing can enhance our health and well-being. When we breathe mindfully, we slow down, take deep breaths, and activate our parasympathetic system to relax our bodies. Mindful breathing goes like this. Number 1, find a comfortable place to sit still for a few minutes. Number 2, close your eyes and relax your hands on your thighs. Number 3, take a deep breath in and count to 3. Then exhale your breath and count to 3. Do this 5 times. We sometimes think mindful breathing has to be an intense experience, yet even just a few minutes a day can make a big difference. Go ahead and try it today. Stay well with WURD. Happy living.
Stay well with WURD. Connect with us at wordradio.com.
Did you know you can catch the flu and COVID-19 at the same time or even back to back? Don't risk catching the flu during the COVID-19 pandemic. The flu shot is a safe and effective way of reducing your chances of catching the flu or spreading it to others. And the flu shot helps protect you and your community from the worst effects of the flu. Don't say, I should have got my flu shot. Call your doctor or visit your pharmacist and get your flu shot today.
Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Staples Stores. Volume on the Schuylkill Expressway still busy. Westbound Heavy University through the Vine Expressway through that construction. Westbound Vine Expressway. You're jammed 8th Street out through the Schuylkill. Generally busy the entire way there. Southbound 95 busy. Cotman down through Bridge through construction. Again, Betsy Ross through Girard. Northbound 95. No major problems here through Philadelphia. PA Turnpike. Blue Ridge 476 still in pretty good shape this morning. 55 northbound Deptford into 42. That's busy. In Cherry Hill, 70 both ways between Mansion Boulevard and Route 38. Restrictions there now because of an accident with a down pole and downed wires. Staples helps you ship all of your gifts and packages this year. Now save 25% on UPS expedited shipping services, plus take up to 20 and 30% off select shipping supplies like boxes, tape, and padded mailers. In-store only offer ends 1/2/21. See store for details. Staples. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're waking up
with WURD.
Hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We're, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number that you can call to get out in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. So number of things happening. The Eagles, of course, bench Carson Wentz the second half of yesterday's game, put in Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts looked pretty good. So the question is, who you got? Is it Carson Wentz or is it Jalen Hurts? Which one of them should start the next game? They don't have a whole lot to lose, Kawhi, so you pointed that out. What are they, like 3 and whatever? You know what I mean? Y'all have won 3 games a whole year. Just hurry up and end it. So we're talking about that, but also your top 3 stories. Rudy Giuliani, personal attorney to President Donald Trump, has tested positive for COVID-19 And on Sunday, he was admitted to Georgetown University Hospital. Hopefully he wasn't around no black folks, because you know what? Black folks are dying at almost 3 times the rate of their white counterparts. It's worse than we thought it was in our community. Story number 2, police shot and killed a 23-year-old man in Columbus, Ohio over the weekend, claiming they shot him after he drove by them in a car while waving a weapon. His family says that's not so. And, of course, story number 3, my commentary for the day, these last few weeks feel like a terrible reality show, from Donald Trump going to Georgia, telling Republicans the elections are rigged, to everybody and their mama getting COVID, to the Eagles looking like a football team from a really bad high school, to neighbors holding vigils after a 14-year-old was shot. I'm getting tired of the reality show, and I'm looking for some joy, and a lot of other people are too. Maybe this year, that's why Christmas in my house is going to be special. We already got the tree. We already decorated. Already put the lights in the windows. Already started shopping for gifts. Already decided to have joy, and I hope you do too. So I want to talk about just a number of things, right? What is the movie that you got to watch before you know it's really Christmas or the holiday season? I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Let's go to Marion from Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Marion.
Good morning, Solomon, and I'm from West Oak Lane.
Okay.
And I know that it's Christmas because right after Thanksgiving they played Nat King Cole's the Christmas Carol.
Yep.
And you said that you like The Year Without Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It was on Saturday and Sunday on the American Music Classic Channel.
I watched it. I watched it with my kids.
All right. And my list is The Bishop's Wife, The Preacher's Wife, White Christmas, Bells of St. Mary, and I even have a tape of the Christmas show from Amos and Andy.
Wow.
And it's a Wonderful Life, and I like the Charlie Brown Christmas. And they had a movie on that was called The Christmas Family Gift with Holly Robinson Pete and our own Patti LaBelle.
All right. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Hopefully there's a couple of movies left. For some other folk, we want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. She ran it down. She gave us the original and the remake, because The Preacher's Wife is a remake, Kawesa, of The Bishop's Wife.
I've seen both of them. I mean, I still, of course, prefer our version, but I have seen both.
Yeah, our version got flavor. You know what I mean? So we appreciate that. But I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. So you got 2 Grinches, right? You got the cartoon Grinch, and then you got the Jim Carrey Grinch. Have you seen them?
I have seen both.
Okay, which one?
I'm going to have to go with the cartoon version. And that's no slight to Jim Carrey, because I think he was the best person to play the Grinch, like I honestly do. But, I grew up on the animated version. And so, I think that they were able to capture a lot more of, like, his, like, devious grin and stuff in the animated version. And so I think that I will go with that. And, of course, the music, from the original as well. You got to...
Yeah.
You gotta go with the music.
You do. You do. My wife said everything in the live action version looked ugly, like the way they made their noses and stuff.
Terrifying, actually.
But they kind of look like monsters a little bit.
A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. And, of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. And let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So Terry Lynn Davis Covington says, I look forward to watching those corny Vivica A. Fox movies, the Queen of Christmas movies, movies on Ion TV every year. Atia Hicks says, I like both Grinch movies. Jim Carrey made it funny. That is true. Like I said, I think he's the only one who could have really pulled that off. And then Atia Hicks is saying, this caller has given up really good ones. Great Christmas movies. So that's another comment. And then, Atia Hicks is also saying, I turned off the second half of the game. Really embarrassing. Lost again. Hurts should start. And lastly, Deborah Dorn Carter is saying, put Jalen Hurts in. Let him finish up the season. At least the Eagles staff can evaluate him and see what he can bring to the table. So those are just a couple more comments that we have on our page.
They done gave Wentz all that money.
They did.
I don't think they're going to let Hurts start for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Too much money. 128 million or something like that. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed. That's a whole lot of money. But he's horrible. I don't understand what he's like. Are you trying to lose? It's crazy. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Sean from Houston, Texas is on line one. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, good morning. Happy holidays to everybody in Philly. Listen up. I called party. I just tuned in, and I listen to you all every morning. And I tuned in, and you all was just talking about the lady up in the Terrell area who was prosecuted for voter fraud.
Yeah.
But here in Texas, it's a real issue, and voter fraud, intimidation rather, is really pushed all across the board. You have like Prairie View A&M. For years and years, they tried to deny and intimidate their ability to register and vote down there. Making accusations like they're non-resident students and all that kind of stuff. So that's ongoing, and it's ongoing to this day.
Wow. Trying to stop y'all from voting in Texas, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to keep a Republican.
And the word Malcolm X, by any means necessary.
Wow. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And, to know that they actually sentenced somebody to 5 years for cashing a provisional ballot that wasn't even counted is absolutely insane.
It is extremely maddening because you think about it. If you look, I guess if you look at the file on the charges and the statement and all that, I'm a union steward, so I look at grievance files. But anyway, if you look at it and you take the statement of the person and without the Trump mentality, you can see that this person never deliberately, willfully attempted to do vote fraud.
Right.
So, like I said, with the Trump mentality that we have to deal with in this country right now, and that party wants to push the issue of voting fraud, like the person before said, they want to push anything and everything for voter fraud to make it as extreme as it is. But you check the cases across the country, and where is the extreme voter fraud existing? Really?
Yeah, there is none. There is none. We can't even get people to vote one time. You think people go vote 2 or 3 times? Come on, man.
Hello. Hello.
It's silly. So, Sean, I want to thank you so much for your call, man. Thank you so much for listening every morning all the way from Texas. We appreciate you, and we thank you for that. So, Kawesa, now I saw your tree. I'm just saying I saw it. I'll let you talk about it.
I can't capture the essence of how cute this tree is on camera. So it's a fiber optic tree. It's maybe about 4 feet tall. I'm taller than the tree. And I went, I have like these cute little different color like ornaments and things like that. And then I go to turn the tree on, and everything just kind of blends together. And I'm like, man. And I worked so hard. I got like a little like tree skirt, and I have like these like fake boxes that I got from the dollar store to make it look like there were like gifts under the tree. I did all of that, and I'm like, man. It didn't work out as well as I wanted.
It just all blends
to.
together. So what color are the the balls that you put on it? Are they silver?
Different.
Are they gold?
So they're all different. So I have some purple and teal, and there's green, and there is, I think, red. I don't know if I said that already, but I did put some more some gold and silver balls on it, and I like put some silver tinsel around to really try to pop it out, to pop out the color. I don't know if it worked, but it looks really cute, like when I'm at home. But when I try to take a picture of it, it's just like, pew, pew, like it's just really...
Did you take it without the flash?
I did. Somebody said I needed to get like a good angle, but like I tried all the angles. I got on the floor. I was like shooting up at the tree. Like I couldn't figure it out. But I mean, the point is it makes me happy. I'm glad that I put it up, because we've been in our apartment now for about, this will be our third Christmas, and this is the first time like we've really like set up a tree. So shout out to Mommy Mathis for giving the tree over to me and having us decorate it and everything. She insisted that we do that, and it did bring a lot of cheer to the apartment. So it doesn't look as great as I.
It's just the pictures. It's just the pictures. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to suggest.
I don't either. It's okay. I'm content with it. I mean, I'm just happy we got something up, because most times it's like, man, I don't want to do it. But no, this year, we did something. We even decorated like the little banister because we live upstairs, and so we decorated the banister going. So, I put a wreath up outside on the door. Like I'm trying.
And that's a good thing. Now, we do a live tree every year, right? And when I was writing humor for the Inquirer, one year, the tree stayed up so long it was almost Valentine's Day.
Oh no! Wait.
Tree dry and brittle. This is straight fire hazard in this joint, right? So I called it the Valentine's Day tree. Now we just kept it up. We kept it up till I think we took it down like maybe right before Valentine's Day, but it was trifling. We had it up because you just don't feel like taking all the stuff off and putting it back and all of that. So, yeah. So we're not going to do that this year. My commitment this year is to make sure we get the tree down in early January. That's my commitment.
Okay, that's a good commitment. I try to get it down like at least the week after New Year's. Sometimes it's a little longer, but, it's a good idea.
Yeah, we don't want a Valentine's Day tree with Cupid on top. Take my little black angel off, because our angel black, just like everything else in here. The angel on the tree is black. So we got to make sure that we take it down before it becomes a fire hazard. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. You can, of course, also weigh in on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a couple more comments here. Terry Lynn Davis Covington says, why would Wentz play hard with a new family and guaranteed $75 million? That's
deep.
Yeah, it is. And then we also have here, TT Music says, I started decorating in October when I went out shopping for Halloween stuff and found myself surrounded by Christmas decorations everywhere I went. The dollar store, Home Depot, everywhere. Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2 with Kurt Russell was pretty awesome. I think you'll like Christmas Rush on Netflix since you're a radio host. It's a cute family movie. Christmas Rush. I think you mean Holiday Rush. That was actually a cute movie. It was about a radio host, so it was a cute movie. I would recommend that to you, Solomon. I think that would be a good one to watch. I saw it last year, and it was.
What's it called?
It's called Holiday Rush. And if I can think of the actor's name, I think his name is. Oh gosh, what is it? Romany something. I'll get it to you, but I will let you know once I figure that out. Romany Malco, that's his name. So yeah, take a look and see about that one, because that's actually pretty good. A couple other comments that folks made as well. You have Sharon Edwards is actually saying he has received just what he wanted in regards to Wentz getting that $75 million. So that's another comment as well. And Mike Jackson actually agrees with me in regards to that Die Hard movie. So I just have to put that out there. He said one of his favorite Christmas movies is the first Die Hard. John McClane, Bruce Willis versus Hans Gruber. And then also he's saying it's when we first saw Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Very true. So yes, good movie. Good movie all around.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to go to break. And on the other side, we got to talk about what's going on with COVID. Cases are spiking, and we have learned that even a higher proportion of Black folks getting and dying from COVID. We need to talk about it. Dr. Naima Benson from Dedicated Senior Medical Centers is on the other side. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
In Pennsylvania, it's now illegal to sell tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, vapes, or electronic cigarettes to anyone under 21. Stores can get fined up to $1,000 for selling tobacco to someone who is underage. Know the law. Check IDs. Post your retailer license. Make sure only employees have access to tobacco products, and only sell tobacco products to customers aged 21 and older. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend. We created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
The people that might have forgot how important unionism is in the country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour workday, kind of work people more than 8 hours without overtime, kind of work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting a fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
Monday through Thursday, keep it locked to WURD Radio. At 6 a.m., start your day with the Power Hour, hosted by Bishop Dwayne Royster and Reverend Mark Kelly Tyler. At 7, it's Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones. At 10 a.m., it's Reality Check with Charles Ellison. Then at 1 p.m., it's The Source, hosted by Andrea Lawful Sanders on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and the Black Women's Leadership Council on Wednesdays. At 4 p.m., it's Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Then at 7, it's Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. At 9 p.m., round up your day with Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Keep your dial locked
to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. WURD Radio. Independent Black Media.
Back by popular demand.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. Joining us now is our next guest, Dr. Naima Benson of Dedicated Senior Medical Centers. Joins us to talk about how seniors can further protect themselves during the coronavirus pandemic through the holiday season, the benefits of telemedicine, and the importance of value-based care. Dr. Benson, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay, good. So, tell our senior listeners about telemedicine. What is it, and how does it work?
Telemedicine is a system that we've all, come to adapt, especially during this time of change with the pandemic, where you can have a visit with your provider over the phone. The best visit is one where you have video. That way you can actually see you. If you have a rash, if you have some swelling, we can actually see it. But at least over the phone, we can adjust some things. So in terms of just management of chronic conditions, if you have things like a blood pressure cuff at home, a meter to check your blood sugar, even a thermometer, those types of things are good tools for us in terms of trying to figure out how you're actually doing so that we can adjust things, refill medications, and otherwise address questions that you might have. There's sometimes that we can even pick up on changes that can be happening with the patient that help us to figure out if they need further investigation. Some things do actually need to be seen in the office, and that's something that we can figure out through conversation. If the patient needs labs or other imaging, it helps us in that way too. We can continue to provide care, even though, we have, again, this time of change with the pandemic.
So the holiday season, of course, is a little bit different. A lot of people, trying to spend time with the family, trying to figure out how to do that, trying to figure out how to keep some sense of normalcy. What do you do? I mean, in a season like this, to protect yourself from the coronavirus?
I would definitely say first, avoid large gatherings whenever possible. If you need to go to the store, the market, try and buy in bulk or do some shopping online. If you need to be outside, make sure that you're wearing a mask that covers your nose and mouth well. Consider all the things that you touch. So try to wash your hands as often as possible. We've said it before, but it's something that people forget. You touch your face so many times throughout the day. So if you can wash your hands, get those germs off of there, it helps to keep you safe. And then also keeping a distance from other people. 6 feet is the safe distance for corona. Now, what I would say in terms of us getting together with family, consider virtual gatherings. There's a lot that you can do with a virtual gathering. People are playing games, they're laughing and joking. Just like I was saying with the video telemedicine, it makes a difference when you can actually see a person, see your loved one, see that smile. If there's new babies in the family, actually get a chance to see those babies. It makes a difference in terms of connection for us to see one another. So I would say consider a virtual gathering. But if you decide on having in-person gatherings, please limit it to a small number. Everyone, friends, family, neighbors, everyone should wear a mask at all times, except when you're eating or drinking. Now, this is a tricky time because you really have to take time to figure out what's the maximum number of people who can safely eat or drink in a room. Everyone needs to be 6 feet apart. And so that can be very difficult, or at least something that you have to, like I said, plan for, think carefully about, because if you're too close together when you're eating, masks off, that means that we're at risk. And what we don't want to do in terms of loving each other this year is make next year not happen. We don't want to have any more loss. There's been too much loss this year. And unfortunately right now, friends and family are the ones that we gather together with. And unfortunately, in some instances, those are the people that we take our masks off with. And so we're getting each other sick. So please, please, please consider, I want to love you next year, so I'm going to have my mask on this year. Other things that you can do, though, honestly, just send your love through a text, a video, a letter, or a card. Think about those things instead of just the regular drop-ins that we do at this time of year. You can decrease the amount of times that you go into somebody else's house or they come into your house. Again, you're reducing the risk that you have of bringing something into your home. COVID is one of the most dangerous things that we have out there, but flu is still out there as well. And unfortunately, we still don't have enough people vaccinated. So we want to stay safe. But what I do want to say is there's a lot of us, especially my seniors, who have been sheltering at home for months and months and months. Please don't forget them. Call them as often as you can. They need that extra love. They need that sense of connection. Please, even if you can show them how to do a virtual anything, a video chat, or even show them how to use the internet so they can, search things like different activities they can do at home or to connect with their friends on various sites, whether it's Facebook or whatever. Don't forget them, please, especially this time of the year. This is when people feel the most lonely. They need that connection. So I would say let's do as much as we can to love each other. And like I said, loving each other this year has to mean that we remember that we need to love each other next year. So keep your mask on, stay safe.
Yeah, and absolutely keep your distance. I think that is that's sage advice. And we did, and I smiled when you talked about seeing a new baby for the first time, because my cousin had a baby and we saw her baby. We did a Thanksgiving Zoom, and it was my first time, seeing a baby. I had seen pictures, but seeing a baby on video, I mean, it was, warmed my heart. That's our newest member of our family. So that stuff can absolutely be just as gratifying or close to as gratifying as seeing people in person. So I want to thank you for sharing that. So what else should we be doing, given that the CDC just put out some new information saying that we know you thought black people were getting it twice as much and dying from it as their white counterparts, but really it's almost 3 times as much as your white counterparts. When you heard that information, what did you think, Dr. Benson?
I think health disparity. The unfortunate thing is that we don't have enough within our community, enough people within our community who have a good connection with a primary care provider. We don't have enough people who know what their chronic conditions are, and enough people who can either pay for their medications or otherwise consistently pay to see their doctor so they can take care of what they need to take care of. We know that chronic conditions, especially those that are not controlled, put you at risk. We know that also in our community, we have people who are closer together. We have a lot of families who share space. We may have grandparents living with their adult children or adult cousins or adult nephews. So we have a lot of people who are, I guess, closer together in a smaller space. So if you have your adult child going out into the workforce, even if you stay home, they may be the ones who get sick. And it doesn't take very long before, families share the virus, whether it's the coronavirus or whether it's the flu virus or whether it's the cold virus. We tend to share, and unfortunately, like I said, in our community, we have a lot of people who are in smaller or we have families that live together and share together. Or in communities that, again, just don't have the same type of benefits of health care and health access as they do in other communities. So that's one thing to say. Another thing to say that actually has been brought up anecdotally as a treatment for coronavirus is vitamin D. So within our community, vitamin D deficiency is a lot more prevalent, partly because we come from countries that have a lot more sun. And so vitamin D, we know, is partly activated and otherwise made more useful by sunlight. And so our bodies are still geared for these places that have a lot more sunlight. And so vitamin D deficiency is more prevalent in our community. And again, it's a situation where a lot of people don't know that they're deficient and they're not otherwise treating it because vitamins oftentimes are not covered by insurance. It's something you have to pay out of pocket, which most people can't afford. So I would say that there's things that have played a role in terms of us having increased risk of coronavirus, increased risk of severity of disease, increased risk of death. And I would like to say that my, brothers and sisters, in the hospitals are doing their best job taking care of all of their patients. But honestly, they're overwhelmed. And it's unfortunate that there's a lot of black and brown faces in all of these places. We just need to find a way to keep each other safe. One thing that I would say, I've heard from too many people that they still don't believe that there is a COVID virus.
Isn't that something?
That's
wow,
frightening to me. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Because then that means that they're not keeping themselves safe, and they're not keeping their family safe. They're not keeping their coworkers safe. It's frightening. It doesn't take very much for it to spread in a community. It doesn't take very much at all. It only takes a few not to do what they need to do. And so I applaud what you've been doing in terms of getting the word out about all the things that we need as a community to keep each other safe and happy.
Well, I want to thank you for that. And we got about a minute left. Tell us about value-based care.
Okay. Value-based care is one that focuses on health and customized care. Really, our focus is trying to keep you well out of the hospital, happy, healthy, and at home. At ChenMed, we have PCPs that lead teams. That is their whole focus. We have small panels of patients, meaning that I only care for a maximum of 400 patients, which the average physician would take care of more like 2,000. Okay, so that means that I get to know my patients better. I get to know what is going on with them, what they need, and what they want done with their care. So we work together to achieve health goals and to provide things that they need that kind of bridge the gap. So we consistently meet with, like I said, a team of people like case managers who go out into the community to figure out if there's things that a patient might need, like food, like therapies, things that would, again, keep them happy, healthy, and at home out of the hospital. We also work with their specialists to make sure that they're getting the best of care, but we're not doing things that are unnecessary. So meaning if I just got a CAT scan, you don't need one. If we just did blood work, let me send it to you. We work together. And so actually that helps the patient to get the best of care. We do our best in terms of making sure that the patient knows that we're there for them. So we're consistently calling them. And as primary care providers, we actually provide them with our phone numbers so that they can reach us when they need it. And that's a service that we provide in addition to just our off-hour on-call service. We look at it as VIP care, trying to give you the best, the best of everything.
What number can people call to get in touch with dedicated senior medical centers?
The phone number to North Philadelphia office is 267-866-7211. And you can reach us also through the website, www.dedicated.care.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning on WURD.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Enjoy
welcome.
Your week.
You too. So, want to remind you, Philly, it's me. That's right. The school year is underway, but never before has that experience come in so many shapes and sizes. Is the education of your child being left to a smattering of clumsy in-person and virtual instruction? The COVID-19 crisis has created a market for untested virtual teaching models lacking true credibility. Maybe it's time to reconsider and exercise your choice. Maybe it's time to check out Commonwealth Charter Academy. Here are the benefits to your family. 1, an online education provided at no cost to you, complete with laptop, headset, and help with internet access. 2, partnership with the market leader in cyber education with a nearly 20-year track record of world-class learning. And 3, delivery of a safe, reliable, and comfortable education experience over the internet directly to the confines of your living room. Visit ccaeducate.me today and discover the gold standard of cyber education. That's ccaeducate.me. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Livelihood, the new initiative from WURD Radio, connecting Philadelphians to jobs, entrepreneurship opportunities, small business resources, and financial literacy. Visit WURDworks.com right now and take the next step in your professional journey.
Work, 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 work
Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network.
Want the latest in Word swag?
Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about black.
Talk media.
Lifting every voice
Till earth and heaven ring.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Black Talk Media. Backed by popular demand.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. And joining us now is Dr. Tim Golden. He's professor of philosophy, legal studies program coordinator, and director of the Donald Blake Center for the Study of Race, Ethnicity, and Culture at Walla Walla University. For 20 years, he was a criminal defense attorney in Philadelphia and in the federal courts. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. Thanks so much for having me today. Good to be with you.
Yep, good to have you here. So, your Eagles, man, and mine. I'm still claiming
Solomon, I'm going to claim them, but I'm going to ride them hard this morning, and I'm going to call them the Beagles because they're playing like dogs.
Yeah, they
terrible, terrible. I don't know what to do. I think we should start to trust the process with them and just tank the rest of the season and try to get a good draft pick.
Yeah, they might as well put Jalen Hurts in. Go ahead, let him play.
Might as well. I mean, he didn't have a preseason anyway, so the next 4 games would be the perfect preseason for him. And maybe Carson Wentz gets his head together. Maybe they get an offensive line in the offseason. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. And so I want to talk about COVID because we just learned something. We learned from the CDC that black people are not twice as likely to die from COVID as white people. We're almost 3 times as likely to die from COVID as white people. Racism, of course, the driving force behind that. My question to you is this. How is white supremacy baked into various segments of our society, right down to healthcare?
Well, Solomon, it really runs from America's founding, right? America's founding is based on this idea that black people are less than human. The Connecticut Compromise, or what we call the Great Compromise in American political history, occurs in 1787 in Philadelphia, right there in our hometown, right? In Philadelphia, there's an agreement reached that in order for the Constitution to be ratified so that there can be what's seen as equal representation, southern states like Georgia, who had large slave populations, would want to have them count as full persons in order to have representation in Congress. Georgia said, a small state like Connecticut said, wait a minute, that's too much. So what are we going to do? So Georgia said, okay, we'll count our slaves as 3/5 of a person. So right there, from the very beginning, we have America's political document, the Constitution, that's founded on the idea that black people have a subhuman status. So this subhuman status then permeates everything that we see in American society, almost every institution. We talk often on your show about the law and how the law sees black people as less than human. But sadly, science and medicine have a long history of doing exactly the same thing. Throughout most of Western civilization, there have been a variety of theories about the black body, about the quote-unquote scientific nature of the black body, about how certain characteristics and traits of the body make us criminal or make us prone to certain behaviors. And it was well into the 20th century before a lot of this was debunked as junk science. But yet and still today, we have a problem with recognizing that in our medical establishments, we have a problem recognizing that black people experience basic things like pain and discomfort. I'm reminded earlier this year of the woman who worked as a phlebotomist at a Detroit hospital for 30 years. She experienced symptoms of the coronavirus. She asked her hospital to test her 4 times over the course of about a week and a half. They refused to test her. She went across town to another hospital, got tested, and then after she got tested, they told her that not only did she have the coronavirus, but that she had bilateral pneumonia. She was dead 2 days later. This is the world in which we live, Solomon. I am more afraid of how I would be treated if I got the coronavirus than I am of the virus itself. The virus is, I don't think that the virus would kill me. What I think would kill me is the way the medical establishment would tend to be dismissive of my claims, of my symptoms, because I am black. And this is the legacy. This is the legacy of the 3/5 compromise, right? The legacy of the 3/5 compromise is that even in 2020, I am still not considered to be human enough to be taken as a credible source of testimony about my own body, about the things that I feel, the things that I experience. There was another man also in Detroit who went to the hospital experiencing shortness of breath. They told him to go home and take some over-the-counter medication. The next day, his son found him sitting in his chair at home in his bedroom, blue in the face, dead from the coronavirus. And so you add this kind of treatment on top of the social conditions that prevail, in which black people tend to live in communities where they are more crowded together, like urban communities, and there's a higher rate of transmission of the virus. You add to that a lot of the environmental racism that has made it easier to get guns than it is to get broccoli or green vegetables. And you compound the comorbidities that come from the overconsumption of readily available foods in the black community, like sugar and other sorts of things that are fundamentally unhealthy. And this is what you get. This is what you get. You get the reality that black people are 3 times likely to die from this virus as whites.
Wow. Yeah, it's deep, man. And you know, of course, when this thing first happened, I'm drilling down on what's going on in our communities. And one of the things that goes on is that we don't have as many primary care physicians in our communities, right? And so early on, in order to get a COVID test, you had to have a primary care physician, and you had to have a note from your physician. And for some places that you might have wanted to go, your doctor had to be affiliated with a certain hospital. So that just X'd us out. So in the beginning, we weren't getting tested like everybody else because, you know, white folks had doctors and they had referrals and they had all this stuff. They had insurance, and many of us don't. And so there were barriers in the beginning that, of course, just like everything else, we playing catch up on all of that stuff. And it all goes back to racism, Tim.
It does, Solomon. It it's a sad world in which we live when you have to be just as afraid of a white coat and a stethoscope as you do of a gun and a badge. We live in a world where whether it is law or medicine, black people find themselves situated in a place where the two most, perhaps the two most pervasive institutions in American life, the two things that fundamentally affect what we do, are a threat to us. The things that are supposed to help us become a threat to us. You know, there's something fascinating about what happens when people experience a lack of breath, right? There's sometimes, Solomon, like when we go to the gym for a workout, there's some levels, in some sense, the shortness of breath is pleasurable, right? When you go, you have a good workout, you have a good cardio workout, you're sucking wind, you know, you feel better afterwards. But then when you have Eric Garner, who says, I can't breathe because he's being choked, and when you have a man in Detroit who goes to the doctor suffering from coronavirus and who says he can't breathe because he's got the coronavirus and he's told to go home and take over-the-counter medication, you have one person facing the legal system unable to breathe, another person facing the medical establishment unable to breathe, and in that kind of shortness of breath, that's involuntary, right? When you go work out, you want to push yourself to the point where you are short of breath. But what happens when you experience an involuntary shortness of breath is that your body ends up working harder to take in less air. And isn't it interesting that the metaphor of breathing, of involuntary shortness of breath, where you work harder to take in less, seems to sum up the black experience in America. People who work very hard but take in less for what they get. I'm reminded of the black comedies that are so sacred in our community, so to speak, like Good Times, a family that works hard, a family that has a lot of integrity, a family that the harder they work, the less they seem to take in. And these are the things that plague black people in America in everyday life. It's a problem of breathing, the most fundamental the most fundamental function of the human body associated with life that ought to be, when it's healthy, symmetrical. For every breath you let out, you take in another one. But yet, black people seem to be at a deficit when it comes to breath, not only physically in terms of Eric Garner and people who died from the coronavirus, but also figuratively in that when we try to live our lives, we work harder, but we take in less for it. And this is a tragedy of black existence in America.
We're talking with a lawyer and critical race theorist, Dr. Tim Golden. He, of course, is professor of philosophy, legal studies program coordinator, and director of the Donald Blake Center for the Study of Race, Ethnicity, and Culture at Walla Walla University. So we talked about health care. What other segments of our society really stand out in terms of how racism and white supremacy is kind of baked in and built into it?
Well, we talked about two, Solomon, right? So there's the legal system, there's health care. We haven't even talked about education, right? We haven't even talked about how Thurgood Marshall, when Brown versus Board of Education was decided that ended desegregation in public schools, he said that on May the 18th, 1954, the day after the decision, he did an interview with a reporter from the New York Times, and he said that he told the reporter that he expected schools to be desegregated within a year. And then he said he looked up the word deliberate in the dictionary because the Supreme Court ruling said that schools had to be desegregated, quote, with all deliberate speed. He said, I looked up deliberate in the dictionary, and the definition was slow. And he said And he said what the NAACP thought was its greatest victory turned out to be not a victory at all, because he said that's when the hard work really started. The hard work really started after Brown, because you had Southern states who were defiant and refused to, they flat out refused to abide by the decision. So here we have, in 2020, many years later, we have African Americans living in inner cities who still don't get equal educational access.
Yep.
We still don't have it. We still have, one of the reasons we have charter schools, right, is because of the failure of the Brown decision, right? The Brown decision has failed fundamentally to provide equal educational access to African Americans. So now we have three fundamental institutions. We have law, we have healthcare, and we have education. And Solomon, the three of them are interrelated. If you're not getting an education that's good, chances are your opportunities for legitimate means of success in society are going to be cut off, and you're going to end up in a confrontation with the legal system, right? And if you're not being properly educated, then chances are you're not learning about the fundamental tenets of good health either, or about the nature of the body. And you're much more likely to end up in a doctor's office where you're perhaps going to be ignored. So it is, you know, we have law, we have medicine, we have education. I mean, those three pillars right there, those are three fundamental things that people need, that black people seem to always have problems having access to in terms of fair and equal treatment.
So true. That is Dr. Tim Golden. He is a lawyer and critical race theorist. He's professor of philosophy, legal studies program coordinator, and director of the Donald Blake Center for the Study of Race, Ethnicity, and Culture at Walla Walla University. For 20 years, he was a criminal defense attorney in Philadelphia and in the federal courts. Tim, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Solomon. If I could just say one last thing. We often talk about waiting to exhale. There's far too many of us in the black community who are waiting to inhale. We put out, but we don't take in proportion to what we put out. And this is the problem of breathing that is so tragic for so many of us.
Wow. I hear you, man. And I want to thank you for that. Tim, we'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good one.
All right. You take care.
All right. You too. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning show, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at FORWURD. That's FORWURD. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
Lots of positive feedback from just your last interview with Dr. Golden. Gary Bryant is saying racism is real and always has been for black people in America. We can't keep pretending that it's not real, and why hasn't it sincerely been addressed by those who are supposed to represent us? We can't keep living like this in Philadelphia and America as a whole. Cleo Weekend says, preach, Dr. Golden. Malcolm White says, yes, Dr. Golden breaks it down. And then also we have here Walter Davis saying, that's why I call this guest in session, quote, receiving knowledge and platinum Tim Golden information. So that's another comment that we have here as well. Juanita Bryant is saying, Dr. Tim Golden is brilliant and the analysis he gives on our lives is spot on. Makes one think for real. Thanks for sharing him with WURD listeners. And then Shar Butler says, wow, that's a powerful connection of Dr. Golden. And Gary Bryant is also saying Dr. Golden is extremely on point. So quite a few comments there in positive comments in regards to your conversation that you just had a moment ago. But yes, those are our comments on Facebook.
All right, so we're going to go to break. And on the other side of this break, it is What's Trending right here on WURD.
COVID-19 impacted a lot of things this year, including regular vaccination appointments. Vaccines help protect you and everyone around you, especially during flu season. Schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider today to make sure you and your children are vaccinated. Vaccines keep us safe, and they work. Skip the flu this year. Get your vaccination today. Let's stay protected together. For more information, visit health.pa.gov, paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Always Best Care is a great place to work. Flexibility,
leadership, purpose,
great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity, inclusion, compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Independent Black Media.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
circuits are busy.
Here's what's trending.
Yo, that's crazy.
On Wake Up with WURD.
Back in October, Breonna Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, requested to have a new prosecutor assigned to oversee the case of her daughter's death by police in Louisville, Kentucky. That request was denied Friday by Kentucky's Prosecutors Advisory Council, and many in the community are not happy about it.
And Black Panther star Letitia Wright tried to defend her posting of a controversial anti-vaxxer video that also happens to include some transphobic comments before deleting her social media presence. You have every right to ask questions about what goes into your body and ask questions until you feel you are ready, she tweeted in response to claims she was coming across as an anti-vaxxer.
And Versus, the online musical battle series, is back with another highly anticipated matchup. Ashanti and Keisha Cole, two R&B singers with numerous hits under their belt, will be the next pair of challengers. And that is what's trending.
Okay, that's what's trending right here on WURD. You can, of course, give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on any of these things we're talking about on this morning show. Let's go to line one. Talk to Olanian. Hey, Olanian.
Greetings. It's been a while since I called or even listened to you because I got a job that has me usually at work at this time.
Okay.
But, because I'm not feeling so good, so I stayed home. I'm glad that you had Dr. Tim Golden on. He explained to us very well what the whole thing of being 3/5 of a human being or 60% of a human being is. And I decided to look for some empirical evidence. So I looked into my phone for what does the word deliberate means. And yes, it means slow. Slow and careful, but slow. Mm-hmm. And that's very nice that you point that out. And also, we're not 60% of a human being. We're 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take it.
Thanks, Olanian. I appreciate your call this morning on WURD Radio. As always, if you want to get in, it's 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. You know, these prosecutors matter. And with Breonna Taylor's mother seeking a new prosecutor to oversee her daughter's case, she's doing exactly the right thing because the other guy, Daniel, what was Daniel's last name? The Kentucky Attorney General.
Let me look that up. Cameron, it's Daniel Cameron. Sorry,
Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron was selling us out. This brother never intended to have any kind of indictment around the death of of Breonna Taylor, and with the grand jurors speaking out, I think that's exactly what they had to do. These are people with integrity, man. They like, hold up. This is not what we meant to happen. You know, we heard the case. We wanted to hear more, and the recommendations that we got were not conducive with, you know, bringing down an indictment. That the prosecutor controls the grand jury. When you have a grand jury process, only one side of the story, and that's whatever side of the story the prosecutor wants to give you, is presented. There is no adversarial relationship in a grand jury where you have one counsel going up against another. That's not what you have in a grand jury. In grand juries, you only have the prosecutor giving whatever side of the story they want you to have, so that you come out with whatever ruling they want you to get. That's what it is. And so, you know, having that in the Breonna Taylor case, I'm so proud of that family, man, because they like, yeah, we'll take the money, but guess what? We want justice. The money is not the most. We want justice. All right. And I appreciate that about them, man, because sometimes, you know, people can pay us off and we'll shut up about anything. They like, nah, you killed our daughter. We want justice, and we're not going to shut up until we get it. And I respect that so much about that family, man, because you see them doing this. And here's the deep thing, Kawesa. The money they paying us off with is ours. It don't come out the cop's pocket. That's our money. Come on, man.
Yeah, just ridiculous. It really is, you know, and I'm proud of this family for standing up and doing what's right, you know, and it bothers me. I don't know what bothers me more, the fact that, you know, they didn't acknowledge the fact that they killed this young lady, or the fact that this was a black man who did this, who did not acknowledge her life and did not acknowledge her existence. Like, I think that hurts me more. It's more of an insult for that, because you had a brother leading the way to do this to our people, to our folks, to someone who did not deserve to die that night. That hurts more.
Yeah. Every brother ain't a brother.
Shoot, talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, you know what I mean? This dude is a sellout, man, and I am so glad that they are trying to get him off that case. You know, he got the people bringing down charges about shooting in the neighbor's apartment. Ain't nobody. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's an insult. That's an insult, you know. And it was so deep, because I remember when they announced the charges, and first I watched the judge, and the judge, you know, was reading the charges, and she was given initials, but she never said the initials BT. I'm like, well, does that mean they not charging anybody for endangering the life of Breonna Taylor? Because it was all about, you know, wanton endangerment. They endangered somebody by shooting into these apartments. They never said the initials BT, man. Never said it. And then he gets on, and he's got this press conference, and he's like, oh, well, I don't want to, you know, let you know the composition of the grand jury, because that might. I'm like, how does letting us know the race of the people on the grand jury threaten us knowing who they are? Get out of here, man. You lying. Then when he was like, yeah, and this is my team of people around me, ain't nobody look like him, not even close. I'm like, man, this dude is a puppet. It was just, you know, it was obvious from the beginning. And so I hope that family gets what they want, because that was a farce. So I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. Gary from Southwest is on line one. Go ahead, Gary.
Hey, good morning, Solomon. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I want to thank you for having Dr. Tim Golden on. He spoke the absolute truth. You know, for me, racism is an evil that's allowed one group of people to think they're superior to another group and feel they can oppress that group of people. And I just wanted to add, when we talk about police need training, they don't need training. They need to learn to respect black life. So it's not really about training. It's about the racism, the extreme racism that exists in this country towards our people and the country that we built. Thank you.
I hear you. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. If you want to get in, it's 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number. that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things that we're talking about on this morning's show. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook? Of course, you can weigh in there at FORWURD, FORWURD.
So we do have a couple more comments of folks just kind of weighing in here. Walter Davis saying, amen, Solomon, every brother, not a brother. Some so-called brothers need to be put on a civil rights reminder adoption. So that's another comment. Sada Moore says, one thing about the Breonna Taylor case that isn't being mentioned is that the neighbors in the apartment that was shot up were white. Yeah. That is true. And then
Thanks,
you also,
Daniel.
yeah, and then we also have here, Sakina saying all skin folk ain't kinfolk. He thought Trump was taken in places, and that's true. He did. He over here homeboys with what's his face? What is it? McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's so went to had him at the wedding and all that fun stuff, and really was thinking that he might have a position if Trump was reelected. So just Terry Davis Covington, a quote brother married to one of the worst blatant racist running this country, Mitch McConnell. Okay, so just as a heads up, it's not his granddaughter that Daniel Cameron married. It was just another woman, but he did invite Mitch McConnell to the wedding. But the woman that he married is not Mitch McConnell's granddaughter. So I do need to make sure that we do know that, because I did some extensive research as well. Arlene Wright, he married. Oh gosh, wait, he married weird after the grand jury was formed. I don't know what that. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I apologize. Atia Hicks says, the prosecutors lied by omission, didn't even care about justice. Just shameful. So those are a few comments, though, that we actually have on our page here.
All right. So if you want to get in, it is, of course, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. We are, of course, talking about a number of things on this morning's show, including these rallies, man. You know what I thought about after I saw the rally that President Trump did? So he goes down, he does this rally. They think he's going to come down there to help them. He actually went down there and probably harmed them by telling the people the election is rigged. Then he said the Senate election will probably be rigged too. Like, he's just saying anything that comes to mind. There's no strategy. There's nothing, right? He's just talking. And what I'm wondering is this, Kawesa. Now, today is December 7th. I guess he had it either Friday or Saturday. Say he had it December 5th. So 2 weeks is the incubation period for COVID, right? So suppose, they get to, I don't know, December 12th or December, 14th, or December 19th, as a matter of fact, if it's 14 days from the 5th, December 19th, and all these people, a bunch of people get infected. The election is January 5th. Now, suppose these people get infected. The election is January 5th. They sick. Some might be hospitalized, some might not. And that becomes the story around the election, and they trace it back to his rally. To me, it was just a dumb thing to do. But it's been a dumb thing to do this whole time, and he just keeps doing it. But with this election coming up, if these people get sick in late December and the election is January 5th, that's going to be the story around the election. And some of them might be too sick to go and vote. He hurting his own folk, man, and he does not care at all.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't care about these people at all. And he just, the whole thing is bizarre. I was, reading something about the fact that even when he was at this rally over the weekend, talking about how he's the only person who likes cucumbers. Like, what? What is that? Who does things like that? Like, he literally was up there, like, segueing in between a conversation, talking about, blueberries and peppers and stuff. And then he's like, oh, I'm the only one who likes cucumbers. What? People are dying. And you up here talking about cucumbers? Yeah. The man is insane. He's nuts, and he clearly does not care about the people who are coming out and wanting to vote for him, because if he cared, he would make sure they were safe enough and live long enough to be able to get out here and vote for the people that need to be in office for him. Like, it's bizarre on all accounts.
It really is. I've never seen anything like it. Jim from West Philly is on line one. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Solomon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Two things. First, with that prosecutor, that shouldn't be so surprising that a black person would do that, because that's what allowed the slave trade. Black conspiracy over there to let them come over and bring all Africans over to America. They didn't just come in by themselves. So that's nothing new, sellouts or whatever. But the question I wanted to ask you, you had the COVID, right?
Yes.
How and when did you know you were over it? I mean, did you have to go back to the doctor? Did they give you an examination? Because I'm hearing people, and I know a person, I don't want to go around them because I don't know how long they might have been sick or how long you got to watch out.
Yeah, you still don't know, but it's supposed to be 14 days.
I thought that was an incubation period. I didn't know how long you actually, the whole process took.
I'm just telling you what all the doctors told me.
Okay.
All right, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
thank
you for your call this morning on WRD. I appreciate it. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on all of these things that we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065, of course, is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Also want to talk about the shooting over the weekend of 23-year-old Casey Goodson Jr. The police in Columbus, Ohio, are claiming that he rode by them in a car waving a gun. And then they chased him down, and they confronted him and shot him after he did not follow a command to drop his weapon. You know what, Kawesa? That story does not sound right from the very beginning. From the very beginning. Who's driving in a car waving a gun?
No one.
Ain't nobody doing that.
No.
Like, what? They lying. So I'm trying to figure out, because his family said that he literally was like coming in the door with a Subway sandwich and a mask in one hand and his keys in the other, right? Walking across his yard, walking into the back fence to get in the side door, and they shot him in his back. So it doesn't make sense. What they're saying does not make sense at all. A, that somebody will be driving by waving a gun, right? When he just came from Subway, like he got a sandwich. It don't make sense. So why would he be doing that? That's number one. And then why would you try to stop him as he's walking in his fence to his house and shoot him in the back? None of this stuff makes sense. And I feel like, you've had these folks, man, just get away with so much stuff. They think they could just say anything, and ain't nobody supposed to question it. That's what I think. I mean, what do you think?
I think that you're right. I think you just have, all these, and I don't want to say, I can't paint, you say it all the time, don't paint everyone with a broad brush, right? So I'm not going to do that. But I think that we have such a high level of racism and anger and hate towards our people, and because of the fact that you have had folks who have been in this power, they're in this power struggle constantly, trying to put us as black folks in our place, that they just want to continuously control the narrative, and they want to make it seem like their way is right and their way has been wrong forever, right? And so, I think that, what we are starting to see is, because of the fact that, we have so much media now, and we are able to put some of this more on display. You know, we're trying to tell folks, like, no, we're not going to continue to let you keep getting away with killing our people and then writing these false narratives about us and what's happening. It's ridiculous, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. And so I think that's what, you know, we're starting to see. They're starting to lose that power struggle, and they're starting to see that, you know, they can't continue to keep selling us the lies they've been trying to sell us this entire time. And that's what I think is happening. I think you're right. I think you're right. And, you know, I think you see that with the election, with Trump, with the people who are actually following behind him. That y'all know he lost and lost bad, you know, but you trying to, you know, follow behind him and do whatever you can to overturn the results of a free and fair election in America, which tells me y'all need to take off them flag pins, stop putting your hand over the heart and talking about the Pledge of Allegiance and singing the national anthem and respecting the flag and all that. If you don't respect democracy, guess what? You don't respect America. Stop fronting. For real. I mean, if that is supposed to be the essence of who we are as a country, and you can't respect that, then you don't respect the country. Stop fronting. Stop acting like it's about how much you love America and all of that. No, it's about you trying to maintain your place in it. You trying to maintain white supremacy. You trying to maintain your power. It's not about how much you love America. It's about how much you love you. Just be honest. And then we can kind of go from there. All right, that's what it's about. Great. Now we know we can go from there. But stop trying to act like you love the flag and you love America and all of that. Now, no, you don't. Because if you did, you would respect the outcome of our elections. You would respect what you keep teaching us about the founding fathers were so committed to one man, one vote. And, well, that's what it was for them, one man, one white man at that, one property-owning white man at that. So everybody was left out. But it has evolved to the point where everybody has a vote. That's what we are as a country. And if you can't respect that, then don't stop acting like you love America, because you don't. You know what I mean? Let's think about that for a minute. As we go to break, we'll be right back. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WRD. Talk to you on the other side.
Dietz & Watson has been making premium meats and artisan cheeses for over 80 years. And when it comes to stacking sandwiches and party platters, they've got something for everyone in the family, like maple honey turkey breast, American cheese, buffalo chicken, and more. So get to your local deli and taste 4 generations of family recipes. With Dietz & Watson on the table, you'll have everyone coming back for seconds and thirds. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
The WURD Radio Newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected.
Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources.
Stay informed
with the WURD Radio Newsletter.
Hi, this is Jeff Brown from Brown's Family ShopRites and Fresh Grocers. Are you thinking about a part-time job to help out with the cost of the holidays? We have plenty of openings. You can apply online at shoprite.com/careers or freshgrocer.com/careers. Come join the Brown family today and help us serve the people of Philadelphia. Have a great holiday.
You're waking up
with WURD,
hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word. So we are taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're talking about a number of things this morning on WURD, including the your favorite Christmas movies. What movie you got to watch in order for it to be Christmas or the holiday season for you? So I want to hear from you about that. Also, COVID, 3 times more. It's not twice the rate of infection and death for black people. It's 3 times the rate. So you got to be careful with that. Of course, Rudy Giuliani, personal attorney to President Donald Trump, has tested positive for COVID. He's in the hospital. And with everything that's going on, man, I want to talk about joy. And a lot of other people do too. Maybe that's why this year Christmas in my house is going to be special. We already got the tree, already decorated it, already put the lights in the window, already started shopping for gifts, already decided to have joy. I want to know what you're doing to bring joy this holiday season. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. I'm going to go to the phone lines and talk to Diane from South Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Diane.
Solomon, how are you?
Good.
I'm sitting in the car with my daughter. I'm so happy for her because next year she will be graduating from Lincoln University.
Oh, that's great.
Sugar Lady's grandma.
Congratulations.
Yes. And she got mad at me because she was talking to a girlfriend. I said, I got to call Solomon. Solomon, number one, I was late watching the debate that came on from the Senate race and from coming in from Georgia.
Yes.
But the CNN was not impressed with her because she would not acknowledge that she believed that Trump needs to give up saying that he won the election.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, it was the birthday for WYY, Channel 12, and they mentioned a brother named Dre Reed from Southwest Philly that started out as, PBS Kids. They gave him scholarship. Now he's teaching animated art on virtual with the students.
Oh, that's
And
great.
I knew that you used to do, yes, you used to work with them, right?
Yeah, I still do. I still do some writing for them.
Yep. Well, that was good. And then another thing, Christmas movie. What's the name of the Christmas movie, Mia? This Christmas was my favorite. And the best Christmas song is Santa Baby, Eartha Kitt.
I didn't know Eartha Kitt sang that.
Yes.
Get out of here. Okay.
It's like a French kitten. Santa Baby.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yes. She put the icing on the cake. Solomon, I hope you had a blessed weekend. I'm looking forward to Man Up tomorrow.
Yep, me too.
Give Dave a call. He lost his sister. His sister passed.
Okay.
Yeah, but keep it real, keep it black, and I'll be talking to you and listening tomorrow. But Queen Larissa, how you like me now? God, stay blessed.
All right, Diane, you too, and thank you for your call. Let's go to Carlos from Nicetown on line 2. Go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was, hold on, wait. Yeah, I was, hold on, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, I was surprised, man, to hear that former Mayor Rudy Giuliani caught the COVID, coronavirus. See that? They running around, they running heck around all over the city trying to prove voter fraud. Now he got it, see?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, yeah, man, hey, like I said, I got called, the N-word many years ago. And, I wanted, at first, I wanted to hit the guy, man. I said, okay. Down there on Waller Street, I was in that, remember years ago, it was a TLA video store down Center City on Waller Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I'm not doing too much for Christmas, but I will be going to go see Wonder Woman 1984. That's coming out on Christmas Day, I heard. The tickets is on sale now.
Okay. Yeah, I see it advertised. They advertising it pretty.
Yeah, it's gonna be on both formats, on theaters and on HBO. Max Stream or something. That's the first time.
Yeah, well, it's good, man. They if they really want to make their money, they gotta let people watch stuff at home.
Yeah, but
so everybody ain't going out.
I prefer going to the theaters.
All right, well, be careful.
I went to go see that movie called The Crowd. It wasn't all that crowd. It was about all right, how can I say this? It was only about me and about 8 people, but it was across the other side of the theater, in the same room I was in. Because usually it'd be crowd, it'd be like about 100, 200 people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Carlos, enjoy it and let me know how it goes, all right? And thank you for your call this morning on WRD. Let's go to Walter. Let's go to Walter from New Jersey on line 1. Go ahead, Walter.
King Solomon, good morning, sir. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm trying to get myself together, I bit all my nails off watching the Eagles game yesterday. So
Lord have mercy.
I'm nailless in Seattle. Paraphrasing it. Got a question for you. Is it true? I thought Chris Murray mentioned that WURD Sports. Chris Murray mentioned that John Smallwood died. He passed.
Get out of here! I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Chris. I thought Chris Murray put it in Facebook yesterday. And if I can get more details, I'll try to hit you up tomorrow. But yeah, John Smallwood from the Daily News. God, I hope it's not true. But he put it in yesterday. I'm gonna try to further check it out, and if I can get something for you tomorrow, I have that for you too. You know. Yeah, great journalist, man. Good friend too. You know. Yeah, definitely. But you guys stay peaceful. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the Dr. Tim Golden with his Platinum News.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So thank you for your call this morning. Let's go to Ron from the Northeast on line 4. Go ahead, Ron.
Good morning, Solomon and Kawisa. How you doing?
Fine, and you?
Great. I just wanted to say one thing about Trump and his people. They're all deaf, dumb, and blind, man. I don't understand it. I just can't understand these people. That's the one thing that I have to say about them. Deaf, dumb, and blind.
Well, not all. I think that you got some folks who follow him because they rich and they want lower taxes.
Well, that too. I agree.
You know.
I agree, but still, they're following him. They're blind followers, man.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say.
That's deep. I hear you, man. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. And let's see, we got a couple more minutes, so if you want to get in, you could certainly do that at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation. You can, of course, also weigh in on Facebook at 4WURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So a few more comments here. Diane Fassett says, Trump makes Scrooge look like a saint. And Tia Hicks says, been a great show as usual. Everyone have a wonderful, blessed, and safe day. So that's another comment that we have here as well. Tia Hicks is also saying, I guess karma caught up with the Trump lawyer. Carmen Iris says, Christmas with the Cranks is one of hers that she enjoys. Tanya Stevens says, favorite holiday movie, A Christmas Story, but please check out Jingle Jangle. Yep, we've been talking about it for actually quite a while now. We had the producer on last week. And then also Diane Fassett says, I put more lights up than I usually do. Light it up. Makes you feel cozy and beautiful to the eyes. So those are a couple more comments that we have on our Facebook page.
So John Smallwood, the sports writer for the Philadelphia Daily News for a number of years. So he did pass away, Kawesa? Is that right?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I said, did John Smallwood pass away?
Yes. So what I'm seeing is that he has quite a few folks have been weighing in on Twitter, just talking about his passing. He was 55. Just saying that he's a wonderful man and talented and passionate writer. I know that Chris Murray had mentioned it on his page as well. So it does appear that this is the case. So just sad news.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. He was, of course, somebody I would read all the time, and black sports writer. So really sad, and of course we're praying for his family and for everybody who loved John Smallwood, his work, and John Smallwood, the man. So we are praying for him and his family and all of his colleagues as well. I want to thank everybody who tuned in on today's show. All of our guests, including lawyer and critical race theorist Dr. Tim Golden, of course, Dr. Naima Benson of Dedicated Senior Medical Centers, and Andre Segura of the Texas ACLU. And now, for everybody here at WURD Radio, including super producer Kawesa Mathis, I am your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for Reality Check with Charles Ellison, and tune in tomorrow at 7 for more. Wake up with Word. Peace.